City and Ali. You know who I am. I need no introduction, right? And you're listening to the Grown Man Hour with my man Bernard Riley, heard weekdays right here on YouTube. What do you think about that? How about that? Now let's get back on with the show. Thank you.
What's going on? What's going on? Everybody, we're back. Happy Monday to everybody. We about to get this thing started. Yeah, saw the title. You saw the thumbnail. I saw a lot of people giving a lot of feedback. Late last night, I heard a few people talking about this stream on their streams late last night. So this should be a good one. Should have a classic. And I just looked down and realized that BGS is already in the building down in the queue. Going to bring him up in a minute. I just made my first unforced error today. I normally talk to the person before I go live to make sure they're okay and they're ready. So hopefully he is ready to go when I bring him up. Hopefully he is. But y'all know what I always do early on when I come in. I got to shout out the early bird squad, those who make it in bright and early before the show gets started and drop a comment. Definitely got to shout y'all out. Excuse me. Still early getting my voice together. Titan TV, what's up and salute to you. Black Wolf Inc. came through with a super chat before the show even got started. You know I like that. Says Shazam, Birdie Shazam. Not exactly David Johnson or Ty City money, but that day is coming soon. Ty City and David Johnson, they need to reach out to me. You know, they got into a little, dick measuring contest and super chatted so much money. I mean, I'm a little worried that one of them might not be able to pay their cell phone bill this month. All that money they super chatted. Let me know, fellas. Just email me if I need to send some of that back, man. Yeah. I want y'all running out of gas money by the end of the month. Yeah, I was out here trying to stun on the super chat, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Oh man, appreciate them brothers. They donated a lot. Osama Abdu, he said, looking forward to it with brother Bernard and the one and only master teacher BGS. Don Calypso in the building. James Kill Deuce Black Torch says, got my popcorn and I'm ready to time out any trolls. Black Torch, you the troll? What do you mean time out any trolls and you the troll yourself? I need to take your rank so they can time you out. Got Killmatic in the building. Ricardo Roddy in the building. Mace Taggart. Logic wins. Who else we got in the building? I'm just going to read the super chat before I bring up the featured guest of the show. I see another super chat came through. Chemistry Ibmor says, thanks for having Big Brother BGS on. And Zero came through. Thank you very much for that, Zero. Appreciate that. You was on my personal short list for this one. I was going to reach out to you, Zero. And so I definitely want you on the panel. If we do a panel, we more than likely will. Haven't 100% confirmed with BGS that he even want to do a panel. But I let them know that there may very well be a panel after the interview. And so I definitely want you to come up and get a piece of this one, Zero. And last but not least, new in the building says Mgtow morning. Yeah, so without further ado, and hopefully he's ready to go, to bring up the man of our BGS Ibmor. Black Gnostic Speaks is in the building. Are you there?
I am here.
All right. Good morning.
Get yourself together too. So
you're trying to get yourself together. Are you on the West Coast?
I'm in Los Angeles. Yes.
Oh man,
far west as you can get.
In the email, I put it out there. We need to change the time. Now I would have been okay with that, but yeah, you got up bright and early for us, man. I appreciate that. I'm sure everybody else appreciate that too. Yeah, that's because I'm going to tell you, I ain't doing nothing at 6 a.m. as far as this kind of stuff. I ain't doing it. I'm on the East Coast, so 9 a.m. is not that early for me. But hey, we glad you're here. Loadcast came through with a super chat. Appreciate that. And Furious Styles, hit those likes, people. It's easy to support. Thank you very much for that, Furious Styles. So yeah, y'all definitely hit those likes, hit that like button on the way in. I always put that right there to remind everybody to like. The free likes are still nowhere near on par with the views. If we can get to 75%, I appreciate that. Let everybody know you're here. We already got a lot of people in here. 7 minutes in, 122 people. That's pretty good numbers. So this is probably more than likely going to be a good show. Possibly break some records. Possibly break.
Well, I usually average about 300. So
Yeah.
on my live streams.
So yeah. I'm suspecting some good numbers, especially when the rest of the West Coast people wake up. Especially by then. But yes, let's get into it. Well, as we wait for people to come in, I'll throw out a softball question just to get going. As we wait for more people to come in. Mgtow being the topic. Like, what's the history of Mgtow? How long ago did it start? When did it start? Who started it? Like,
it depends on which version you're talking about. The original acronym Mgtow was actually coined, I do believe, in 2005 or 2006, and it was actually a group of Paul Elam's followers, which is MRA, and they just coined the term Mgtow, men going their own way, which is basically I think Rollo Tomasi talks about being your own point of interest. Your singular point of interest, basically point of origin. So basically, the way males actually do look at the world versus female is males center on the I. In other words, I am a singular person, single entity looking out on the world, whereas females actually do it in the reverse. They always have to be joined with the group. So females don't look at themselves the same way that males do. And then I think there was a French philosopher that I actually, feminist female philosopher actually pointed that out. Unfortunately, YouTube didn't like it. They actually struck down the video, but she actually pointed out the difference of the way men use language versus females use language. And men always talk about me and whoever I'm with, and women always talk about us. And so Mgtow is about making you the point of origin, basically going your own way outside of the crowd. That was the original acronym. And Barbarossa and Stardust in 2010, 2011 actually started building a philosophy around an acronym, which is men going your own way. And that basically separating from what the MRA does. The MRA was about changing laws and actually negotiating legally with the state and women. Whereas Barbarossa and Stardust started what you call a refusenik movement. Do you know what a refusenik is?
A refusenik? No.
A refusenik is a Russian political movement where they just refuse to actually comply with the state. I'm not gonna revolt. I'm not gonna dissent. I'm not gonna riot or protest. I'm just not gonna comply with the state. I'm not gonna get involved in do what is necessary to be a citizen in the state. That's a refusal. I'm not gonna, until the laws change or until the atmosphere changes, I'm just not gonna participate. And MGTOWs took that stance. Because for the society to work and for women's lives to work, men have to participate in it. So what MGTOW decided to do, we're going to actually withdraw that participation, withdraw our efforts, withdraw our money, whatever that we do, and keep all that stuff for ourselves and not participate in the state or anything that has to do that feminist laws that actually are bad for men. So they are what I call a refusenik movement. They don't protest, they don't riot, they may or may not vote. But the thing is, I'm just not going to participate. I'm going to withdraw all my talents and my wealth and my participation from the system. That's basically Mgtow.
Right. Now, was the ultimate goal of that was to make the women and or the state, the country, step back and change the laws? Because when I first heard about it, I interpreted it as it was just an individual thing. I looked at men, doing something like this. It's like herding cats. It's like I didn't look at it as they were, more of an organized effort with a goal at the end of it. But they had what was their ultimate goal?
Eventually, the goal is to actually have the environment change, the feminist environment change, child support laws, marriage laws, all that kind
Right.
of stuff. In other words, when ultimately Mgtow would say, a real Mgtow would say, I'm not going to have kids, I'm not going to get married, I'm not going to cohabitate, I'm not going to do anything that would help the feminist side of the feminist laws actually participate. So whatever that is necessary to help this along, I'm not going to do. So get the two biggest things: not getting married. Three things: not getting married, not having children, and not cohabitating.
Yeah. See now. Yeah, I can see that. Hold on. Who we got here? Unreasonable Man says, Brother Bernard, you earned your respect. You earned your respect. I think that's what he's saying there. Salute, Master Teacher. Thank you very much for that super chat, Unreasonable Man. And Justin March came through with a super chat. Thank you very much for that. So it sounds like in a way it is de facto political. They're trying to change the political by stepping away, essentially. That's so yeah, it is de facto, because I heard of Mgtow arguing that Mgtow isn't political and talking about the difference. Damn, let me turn that off.
I mean, individuals can be political because there's a lot of Mgtows that are political, but as a group, politics is not really what they do. That's an individual thing. So Mgtow is more like Alcoholics Anonymous.
Okay.
Where you actually where you could be come from any sector, have any denomination, some are atheists, some are religious, some are very political, some are apolitical. The thing is, it doesn't matter. When you come together, you're basically agnostic to all that stuff.
Right. Now, I got to shout out Zero on this one, because Zero, he's argued plenty of times that that black men were with it. They were down with it. They were on board with it. And then they heard the word monk in front of Mgtow, and they said, whoa, hold on, wait. Are you saying we can't get no pussy? No, we can't do Mgtow. And then that's how black men basically just got on something else and got off the code of the message of what they wanted to do, and because they heard no pussy, and then they abandoned ship. Is that essentially what happened?
Like me, since I'm older, I'm in my 60s, I'm a Mgtow monk, and I've been that way for 5 years. But that's a choice. I'm older. And I even told younger Mgtows that they're coming into it, that's probably not the best path for you. There's actually monk is actually the final stage. There's actually 4 of them. And the first one is just, Mgtow leaning, which is called purple pill. You take some of the tenets, you take some of the red pill tenets, actually apply it to your life. You still, you could still cohabitate, you could still do a whole bunch of things. But the thing is, that's purple pill. The second one is basically non-cohabitation, but within a committed relationship, which one of the founders, Barbarossa, is in right now. He's a Mgtow, but he's always had a girlfriend. He doesn't cohabitate with her. He won't marry her. He won't have children by her, but he's in a committed relationship, as long as that committed relationship suits him. That's second stage. Third stage is what they call plate spinning. If you are a fan of Coach Greg Adams, which is free agent lifestyle, right? That's plate spinning. In other words, you're free agent. You can date. You can have more than one woman. With the way Coach Greg Adams say, you should serially date or have more than one woman. That's a free agent lifestyle. You do what you want. That is the third stage, which is plate spinning. Basically, you're really not in a committed relationship. You have liaisons. You could have friends with benefits. You could have serial girlfriends or whatnot. But the thing is, you're not really in a long-term committed relationship. That's stage 3. Stage 4 is for guys that have had their children, been through all of that for the most part. Been through all of that, been through the having the kids, having the pregnancy scares and all of that, and they're just they're just done with the how can I say the maintenance of a woman, because maintenance of a woman is actually very difficult, right? It's even if it's not money, the emotional maintenance and the time and stuff like that you have to put into a woman is enormous. It takes up a lot of time. It takes up a lot of time to have a woman or two. It really does. So the thing is, Mgtow Monk said, you know what? At this point, to keep my my contentment up, keep my emotional life stable, and I'm willing to forego, you know, regular sex with a woman. Like some monks say, you know, every now and then I'm gonna jump to the DR and actually empty all the tanks, you know, shoot all the bullets I can, come on back and resume my life. And some guys, they said, I'm gonna abstain altogether. I think Stardust would be on that end, even though he was like in his 30s. He said, you know what? He had a bunch of girlfriends, had some serious relationships. He said, I'm done. I'm just going to go monk. And so that is actually the last stage, which is probably the most difficult stage, which is Mgtow Monk. And Mgtow Monk, there's not that many of them. I don't know why people complain about Mgtows not having sex. There ain't that many Mgtow monks. I would say most of the Mgtows probably fall in the range of where Coach Greg Adams is, which is the plate spinners or the free agent lifestyle, as he puts it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's one thing I figured out when I was first finding out about Mgtow. It was more so just it was just a bad perception that they had. It was it was a perception of
you can't separate black men from pussy, okay?
Yeah.
They say you mean no pussy, I'm out. They don't even hear the rest of the message, okay? They said, okay, they go right to the end who said, okay, these guys don't get no pussy, or they refuse pussy. Oh no, I'm out.
Yeah, it almost had me. I was
on board until you said that. Okay.
Yeah. What do you think about? Oh shit! Damn, just knocked down my headset. All right. Yeah. What do you think about what Zero saying right there about that? And the racism cop out as part of the reason why a lot of black people abandoned ship.
I understand the racism as far as not being Mgtow, because there you can't get around it. There is a component, and that's why I said it's more like Alcoholics Anonymous. Are they all racist? No, but there is a racist element because you bring yourself to Mgtow, and just because you're Mgtow doesn't mean that you change. So there is that element. How come a lot of the Mgtow started Ibmor. It's still Mgtow tenants. It's just with a different name that actually centers on black people, black men. And since Mgtow is basically a agnostic movement, whereas race, color, creed, nationality doesn't matter, and they really don't like you actually bringing it up. So when you actually talk about race or something particular to your culture, you can get shouted down. So a lot of times you can't speak freely about your particular culture and how your women and how your culture affects you in particular, especially as a black man, because black people have one of the most unique cultures probably on the planet. And you really can't talk to in my opinion, you really can't talk to black men without putting in the racial component. And for a lot of non-black people, that's uncomfortable, which is why I decided to separate my channels. I still have a Mgtow channel, which is Black Gnostic Speaks, but I thought it better if I actually added a separate channel, just so I could actually bring these principles to black men.
Yeah, I think the conundrum. So what I noticed is that, okay, if somebody is red pill, and if you're going to be red pill, you're going to be red pill about everything. So if you're going to be red pill about race, which let's just say, the white men, the white Mgtows are the white men in the white manosphere. Okay, they're red pill. If they're being red pill about race, they're going to say some hard hitting truths that's going to rub us the wrong way. Now there's black people who are red pill about race, and they say some of the same shit, but we don't like to hear white men saying that shit. Yeah. It was almost like, I shut the fuck up about that, So I think
I found it to be the exact opposite. Whereas where white men didn't want to hear it. They really didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to bring in the racial component. They, like I said, they like Zero says, is it table the racism until we beat the elephant in the room. Basically, they didn't want to hear it. If they didn't want to hear it until they wanted to mention something, and they would mention things that had to do with conservative values in their talking points in their videos. I think my moment was when do you remember the Missouri University football protest when because of the racism on campus, the football team refused to go on the field, or were threatening to refuse to actually play out the season. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my moment when I said, okay, I had to find another place to talk about it, because they were centering on feminism as a reason that these black boys were having problems on campus. And I said that
Wow.
was far from the truth. And I had a whole lot of them go against me when I actually mentioned that, because they were talking about how this is white feminists are actually pushing these kids to actually protest against the college and ignoring the elephant in the room. So I said, okay, since I can't talk about it here, I'll just make a separate channel where I can talk about it, and I can't fully be myself, because in over on Mgtow, some things you have to sanitize. So even when you actually make say a video that's particular to your experience as a black man as far as dealing with black women, because it is different. Okay, white women and black women are not the same. They are not the same. And how we deal with in our culture with our women is not completely different, but it is very different. And you can't bring that up in a Mgtow setting. So when I put videos, even today, I just put one up about on my channel. In fact, I hadn't put up a video on my channel for like, Jesus, it's got to be like 6 months, 6 or 7 months. I put one up, and people were all my Mgtow subs are actually glad, oh, the channel still is alive. You actually will post here. But the thing is, I actually had to pick things that are basically agnostic about the general nature of women, and not about black women. So, and basically, as far as men are concerned, you really can't talk about gender dynamics unless you put race into it and black women into it, because most men in this sector actually deal with black women, or if they don't, there's a reason that they don't, and you can't fully express yourself unless you can talk about it, and you can't do that on a Mgtow channel. And I understand, because that's not what it's about. So it's like, if those are the rules of the road when you get into the club, then you have to abide by them. So I abide by them. So a lot of my fans were actually mad, because I take the majority of my content is on my Ibmor channel, but it is what it is.
All right, fellas. Let's see. We got 331 people in here, only 154 likes. Let's get these likes up.
All right. You got some. You guys want to hear this stuff. You guys got me up at 6 freaking o'clock in the goddamn morning. You can't hit a like button. Come on, y'all.
The man is on the West Coast. Got up bright and early for this.
Come on, y'all. You guys are listening. You guys can hit a like button. Come on. It doesn't take that long, and you don't want to hear me fuss. I used to play polka music when they wouldn't hit the like button. A couple years back.
I'm going to start doing something like that.
And they would get sick of hearing polka music, so they would actually hear the like button. You guys don't want it. You guys got up to actually hear me talk about Mgtow. I don't talk about Mgtow that often, so at the very least, you can actually get the likes over 200. There we go.
There we go. All right, thanks. I appreciate that. All right, now to the main question here that one of my subscribers sent me a Cash App. Asked me the question, what impact has Mgtow made? And just to call it what it is, that it came from a statement that Obsidian made 2 years ago that resurfaced.
Okay.
When he was critical of Mgtow. He said Mgtows are losers. I thought it was just an off-the-cuff statement that he made.
I knew Obsidian when he was blogging before he made a channel. I used to follow him on Just for Guys, and he's always been that way.
Okay, see, now me personally, I was just listening in the clouds back then. I don't even know if Obsidian, I probably had never even left a comment at the time. I was just listening in the clouds. In my perspective, I thought he made like some random off-the-cuff statement. And then they challenged him on it, and Obsidian being, Obsidian, he doubled down on it, and he just gonna stand in it and go ride it till the wheels fall off. That's what I thought happened there. But but you're saying that he's been on that from the very start. He's always been.
Yeah, he's always been that way. Even we used to have these battles from 2013 on, and just for guys about Mgtow. So he's been staunch about Mgtow. He's never really agreed with Mgtow. He's an MRA and pickup artist. That's where Obsidian started. So,
okay.
So he disagreed with Mgtow.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that
because Obsidian, for all his ills or pluses and minuses, he is pro family.
Yes,
and Mgtow is not pro. Mgtow is not pro family.
Yeah, yep.
So there's going to be a clash right there.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Counselor Murray, thank you for that super chat. I appreciate that. And A Nail came through with a super chat. And that's my first time really looking at the picture you got right there. I like that picture. But he says, where is it at? Where is it at?
Oh, if you're coming in August, if the beaches are open, basically stay anywhere near the beach. If you can, but that's expensive. But anywhere near the beach, I would say rent a car because you want to travel, and basically LA is not what can I say, public transportation friendly. It takes a long time to get from A to B. So I say, and Ubers are expensive. So I say rent a car, use your GPS, actually pick out your spots before you get here because Los Angeles is huge. It's there's a lot of people. It's also very spread out and has different areas. So pick what you like. I would say first stay near the beach because we have some of the best beaches on the planet. So pick one of the beach cities, enjoy the beaches, and then after that, pick what you like. You want to deal with Latinos? There's places to go. Want to do white girls? You dip down to Orange County. If you want to, concerts kind of out. So normally you have a bunch of summer concerts, but since COVID, a lot of stuff is actually going to be kind of closed down. So it's going to be limited. So I said, if you want to have a good time, just stick near the beach, enjoy the shore. The restaurants are kind of iffy because I would say there's lots of places to eat, but there's going to be kind of iffy with the restaurants because of COVID. We don't know how it's going to actually respond. But other than that, man, I would say first thing, rent a car. And the second thing I would say, look, join Groupon. Okay, if you want to eat good food, join Groupon. You actually do it a whole lot cheaper by Groupon, and actually give you a sample of what LA has to offer as far as food is concerned. That's the three things I would actually say. Two things I would say: rent a car, join Groupon if you want to eat, and stay near the beach. Those three things.
Yeah, I don't got nothing etched in stone right now, but I do think sometime soon I will be taking a little mini vacation to LA. I want to catch a Lakers game at
you gotta wait. Well, we don't know when the season's gonna start.
Exactly. That's why it's not etched in stone. But I do want to check out the actual Lakers game. I've been loving the Lakers for a long time. Ever since they got Kobe and Shaq. That's been damn near de facto my team. My away home team.
Okay.
I'm in Michigan, so
I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, I don't care too much about the Pistons and the Lions. I'll go check out a Lions game just because. But the Lakers is my team. So yeah, I do want to go catch a Lakers game in LA. So that is in the works. When I hear about people that, and I'm about to get back on the topic real soon. People that live in LA, like I live in a small town here in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I cringe, almost get a headache when I hear about that $1,500 to $2,000 rent for a 1-bedroom hole in the wall. Like, why?
It's because it's the weather. We say it's the weather, stupid. It averages 70 degrees year round, and it's weather is close. It's one of the few places that is. I think there's only one other spot, which is the European. Was it the European Riviera, French and Spanish Riviera, where you have temperate climate year round at sea level. Only other place in the world other than the French Riviera that it actually happens. And so That's why it's so popular. And all the tech companies that were up north, where it's a little colder, have moved down here and actually raised the prices. The tech companies and the Chinese actually caused the property prices in LA actually shoot up like that. And then you have since you have so many people actually conjoining in here because it's become a tech hub. Now you have like Microsoft, Google, and all those other tech companies actually buying in, like Tesla. Coming in down here. So now you have a bunch of upwardly mobile urban white people coming from the Midwest to Los Angeles. So that caused the prices shoot way up. It's always been kind of on the pricey side, but never to the point where it's actually more expensive than like New York. But now it is because it's such a popular destination.
Yeah, I don't understand New York rent either. That shit is crazy. But
yeah, I tell you, Bernard, you come in and say, what's the coldest day in Michigan?
Shit. You talking about like how cold it actually gets?
I mean, let's say what is the coldest time of year in Michigan?
Normally January. It's sometime in January.
January.
After Christmas, we have a few doozies out here. Yeah.
So what's the average temperature in January in Michigan?
I don't know what the average is, but I know at its worst they get below zero, and they got to shut everything down because it's over a foot of snow.
Yeah. So you can come out here in January when there's a foot of snow in Michigan, and it'll be 80 degrees.
Yeah, that's the game plan. That's the game plan. I want to take a little vacay out there, catch a Lakers game, and then
and people get out here and they find out that it's like this way pretty much year round, and can have an 80-degree day in December or January or February, and they said, okay, you know what? Instead of shoveling snow, let me come out here where there's never any snow.
Yeah, they say I'm going to come out here where there's no snow, going to make $100,000 a year and still be broke.
If you can afford it, it's a nice place to live.
Yeah, I guess. Underrated Darkness. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. He says, good morning, good conversation. Salute. And we also got Delmar Wilson. He says, keep building, gentlemen. These are the lessons we should have as youth en masse. Thank you very much for those super chats. I think somebody else came through. No, I think that's it. But all right, now let's get to I was asking the question, what impact has Mgtow has? That's the question that one of my subscribers cash after me, wanted me to do a show on this.
Okay.
You were de facto. I'm sorry, I'm gonna soundproof the studio real soon, but for right now, y'all gotta hear big ass garbage trucks and shit. Right?
Okay. Hey, I know how you feel.
Yeah, you were nominated. So yeah, fire away. You got the floor on this one. What impact has Mgtow actually made on society?
It actually has moved MRAs closer to being more radical.
Closer to being more what?
More radical, because MRAs for the first, I would say, 40 years that they were around, were more conciliatory toward the political process, right? So they were like Martin Luther King. Okay, they're actually we're going to work with women, we're going to reason with women, we're going to reason with the state, we're going to actually try to get legislation through, we're going to be more academic, we're not going to talk in harsh tones toward women. We're actually going to take the high road rather than a low road. We're actually going to appeal to their better angels by talking about the things that boys go through, and the how the laws are unfair to men and that kind of stuff, right? Basically appeal to their better nature, right? That was MRAs for the first 40 years, right? And the Mgtow says, and screw all that. We're just not going to participate. And basically they said, fuck women. They said, fuck women. We're not going to get bound in a box just because of sex, a vagina. We're not going to bow down to vagina. We'd rather either go without or get dolls or travel outside the country rather than adhere to the feminist agenda, or actually how can I negotiate with them? Like one of the things Mgtow says, we don't negotiate with terrorists, with female terrorists. So we'd rather sit on our hands or go the other way, which is what men's going your own way means. go our own way, and basically that's come the symbol is actually going the other way, or basically walking away from the system rather than participating, because we'd rather see it collapse or burn down rather than participate. And that's kind of like a radical stance, which scared people, especially women.
But you're saying the MRA has adopted some of that, but it seems okay. To what degree have the MRA really adopted that Mgtow stance?
Basically, the MRAs were still getting married, still having children, and working with the courts and whatnot. And they took the stance that we're still going to be family friendly. We're still going to be female friendly. We're not going to talk about not engaging with women, because women are part of the family. If we want to have kids, want to have a family, we want to make a just society. Okay. And because we still want to participate in the process, Mgtow said to hell with all that.
Yeah.
And basically, after 40 years, the needle started to move because the women got scared. State got scared. Okay, well, if these guys get big enough and enough men decide they want to take the stance, then it's going to be an issue.
Okay. So
you wouldn't have SYSBM, Escape Black Man, all that kind of stuff that black men actually have if it wasn't for Mgtow. Mgtows were actually first people to actually say we can actually determine our own path rather than working with the state.
Right. Has it been, and it's hard to connect the two, because it seems like, depending on who you ask, marriage has been gradually dropping anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But is there some type of measurable drop since Mgtow and all these other, sister movements, so to speak?
It's kind of hard to separate the environment from a movement, because you can't separate them, because an movement won't start up if the environment is not right. But a lot of these ideas start filtering out into the public. So even though Mgtows were actually a smaller group back then, but the ideas that were actually being espoused were actually sympathetic to, for a lot of guys out there that actually going through that, or actually had seen their older brothers, sisters, fathers, uncles actually go through it, and said, "Oh yeah, why should we have to participate? Why should we have to get married? Why should we have to have kids? That's not necessary." And it's kind of more of a selfish tone. But now you see it more in the younger millennials and the Zs. Like they say, well, I'm not getting married. I'm not having kids. I'm not going to participate in this. And you see a lot of these guys that thought it was abnormal because nobody said that it could be normal, actually doing this now. So it has an effect. It has a big effect, actually, because if it didn't, then you wouldn't have all these feminists and politicians going against it.
All right. Dang it, I slipped my mind with my question. It'll come back. Zero says, women won already. Look around you. Most men are trying to just negotiate the terms of their surrender. Well, my generation is. The younger generations are like, fuck all that. Do you agree with that statement? That's what's going on?
Have the women won? Okay. I would say no. They haven't won. Because what feminism actually wanted was total control. And feminism as an idea has probably failed.
Whoa! Time out! Hold on, you got to explain that. When you said feminism as an idea has actually failed, elaborate on that one. That's a whole show.
Feminism was about power. Feminism was about replacing male power with female power. And that even goes into the boardroom, the family life, and whatnot, right? And that would actually, how can I say it? That would actually have women actually taking the leadership role in the family, okay, with the responsibility of being a breadwinner. And Liz Money wrote a book called The Richer Sex, where they were trying to the older feminists were actually trying to convince the younger feminists to actually take on the leadership and take on the breadwinning role and let the man play the support role. Now they
why? What I don't get I don't get the motivation in even pushing for that. Like they understand that women have children.
If you want to replace men as in control of the family,
yeah.
If you want to be the alpha in the family, if you want to be the decision maker in the family, what role do you have to take?
Yeah. Okay.
You have to take the leadership role. And if you have a woman that wants to make $200,000 a year and take a male track in business or in in the job market, right? Okay, if she's working 70 hours a week, like an executive would have to work, who's at home with the kids? What kind of husband does she need?
Yeah.
She needs a supportive husband. She needs a supportive man. If women want political and financial power in this country, they have to take a masculine role. And for them to take that masculine role, they have to have a supportive spouse.
Okay. Do you feel like that's kind of blown up in the face of feminism? That's probably why you're saying it's failed.
That's why it's a failed idea, because ultimately it's about feminism ultimately about female power. And you can't have female power if women refuse to wield it. And because of women's biology, because feminism believes that nurture, which is socializing and teaching and subtle brainwashing, will trump nature. And it has failed because it is not, because 90% of women do not want to take that role, that breadwinner role in a family structure.
Right.
So ultimately, the ultimate goal of feminism cannot be achieved unless you can kind of convince these women to take on that role or take on that mantle. And women don't want to take on that kind of responsibility because they do have children, because their brains are wired differently, and because their internal nature doesn't want that. They want the man to lead. If you can't get women to lead, then guess what's going to happen? They can't assume the power that they want.
Yeah, but it would be argued that they essentially got that power without taking that leadership role in the households, because we'll reference Zero again, as he said, he always brings up, they got the vote,
the vote doesn't mean anything.
Oh, explain that one.
Without assuming power. If you don't take financial corporate power and power in the family, the vote doesn't mean anything. Because if you do that, what's going to happen is more and more more people that are actually Mgtow leaning. If I can't get a balance and get a fair shake in the process, why should I participate? If I'm going to get screwed by shacking up with a woman or marrying a woman, I'm gonna get screwed in the end and get the short end of the stick. Why should I participate? Are our children enough to actually participate, take that kind of hit? And how many men would actually agree with that?
Ricardo Rodney, thank you for the Cash App. My man Dollar Washer came through. He said, imagine if females was in charge of infrastructure. Can feminism be a mental defect? And also, you can answer that one real quick.
No, it's
Harambe, hold on real quick. Harambe, thank you for that Cash App. I appreciate the people who are hitting the Cash App as well. Thank you very much. And right as I'm saying that, Tavares Wiley came through with a super chat. Appreciate
one of my day ones, yeah.
What you say?
He's one of my day ones, yeah.
Oh yeah, I like my day ones too. I remember when I was just posting a random pre-recorded video here and there. I got people that be in my live stream chat that was commenting to my very first videos. I always get a little warm feeling when I see that. But what was the question that was put out there? There it is. Go ahead and you can answer that one.
Feminism is not a mental defect. Okay, that's probably a long explanation. It's probably longer than you guys want to hear. But feminism is a product of the environment, number one, because in the industrial environment, you don't need as many kids. You probably don't need more than one, really. And women don't really need a man or support of a man actually have one kid. So that's number one. So they're actually have more independent minded. And second thing is that feminism is actually indoctrination since 1972, where all the education that you get from 1972 on is feminist. Title IX actually took over the schools, and they started slowly indoctrinating kids from age 5 and up to actually be feminist. So most people are actually feminist minded. They just don't know it.
Oh no, yeah, I definitely was. looking back at it, it's like you just get indoctrinated into it. It's sort of like religion. It's just brought up. Yeah,
it is, and basically if your mother is leaning that way, and the school teachers definitely lean that way, and all the education that you get and message that you get is feminist, is gynocentric, as they say, then you're going to have a gynocentric worldview. It takes a lot of work to actually get out of that worldview.
Yeah, I remember when I took a sociology class, I'm just in there.
Mm-hmm.
The teacher, she was so feminist. She was practically teaching feminism. Just that was essentially what she did. She even skipped some chapters because it was some chapters that legitimately touched on it and touched on all the movements in the 60s and 70s and all of that. So it was some legitimate chapters. But no. She was skipping ahead. She was putting her focus on that. Even when it wasn't about that, she circled it back to it. And then a lot of times the book would be closed and she just talking, just teaching feminism. And the funny thing is, at the time, it didn't even, I was young. It wasn't a major blip on the radar. It wasn't until years later I looked back at it like, wait a minute, what the
when you run up against a situation where feminism doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
And then you start looking back, which most guys do, which is why you have Mgtow, which is why you have Ibmor. When we get into their roadblock, this doesn't work for me anymore. Now what? Because what they taught me doesn't work. And I have to go back and find out what actually does work and actually relearn what being masculine is about.
Yeah. You mentioned the state response to it. We didn't get too much into that, but you have mentioned, as far as Mgtow and all these movements, like what have the state done? I know the manosphere got labeled a hate group and all kind of stuff like that. But other than that one, I guess you could probably touch on that one. But
if you notice this, even even when I was coming up, because I'm in my 60s, right? When I was coming up, I had kids. Basically, the family courts were actually completely slanted one way. I mean, completely. There was no fairness in the family courts. Is this your kid? Yeah, this is what you have to pay. You don't have any rights. So we go look at the book. What she says goes, and you don't have any rights. Now, 30 years later, basically, it's not 50-50, but it's far more even than it used to be. The judges actually consider the father way more than they used to. So this is in result of Mgtow and Mgtow leaning people, because they're afraid if these guys don't want to participate, they don't want to have kids, because women can't have kids, they have children by themselves. So what if all these guys decide to hell with it, or go run out and get vasectomies? What's going to happen to the population? It's going to plummet.
Yeah.
And basically the state can't take care of all these kids by themselves. They need fathers. They need child support. That's the reason they switched the onus of taking care of children from the state to the fathers. Why your child support went way up, because they actually switched the support of children from the state, I would say in the 60s and early 70s, to the father. So if men don't participate, basically this system will probably crash.
All right. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Third Degree Burn came through the Cash App. Appreciate that. Also, who is this? MLR came through with a Cash App. Appreciate those Cash App.
Appreciate you.
Okay, yeah. See, I'm getting some new names here. These must be your folks coming through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thank you to all the BGS people that's normally not here. Y'all are more than likely welcome. Go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to be bringing a wide array of content, you know. So yeah. I'm going to be doing a lot of streams like this, going to be trying to reach out to a lot of people, get a lot of diverse opinions in here. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't, if you're new here. I'm seeing a lot of new people, so yeah, feel free to subscribe, come back and hang out. But it's funny because I got a pencil in my hand so I can write down my questions so I don't forget them, but then I keep fucking around and forgetting the question. But let's see what we got here. We got kiss my ass burgers. Okay, yeah, that's cute. Okay. Kiss my ass burgers says feminism replaced just Christianity as a regular software forced down people's throat. Interesting. That's kind of what I said. Both are restrictive and outdated. I agree with that. What? Okay, this is a question that I was this question I was going to ask. Okay, and this goes back to Mgtow and their perception. Okay, what do you think about, the idea, the perception that, Mgtows, they're essentially pulling back, and this sort of goes back to this may be potentially related to the statement about Mgtows being losers, or that they're it's hard to measure this, so I just want your thoughts on it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not buying houses, they're not doing this, they're essentially not participating
right
in the world, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So can that be viewed as a negative thing? I think that's where some people draw some criticism to them, that not only are they, they are pulling back for, maybe some well thought out de facto political reasons, but by not participating, by not doing this, by not doing that, they're essentially just it does create another one of those perceptions that they're really just losers who just can't do that. They don't got the stuff to buy houses, to do this, to have the money, because if they had all that, they would get what they essentially wanted from women. They would be able to make the relationships work however they want to make them work. They'll be able to do what they want to do, but really these are the guys that just can't do it. They're not successful, they're not failures, and that's part of the core of why they're not participating. And some really smart people with some good ideologies have created created ideals that essentially pacify men who are not charging forward to be men and upwardly mobile and compete.
Who's setting the metric for all that?
You said who said it? It's a metric for all that?
Who's setting the metric for all those winners and losers? There has to be somebody setting the metric. What's a winner? What's a loser? And who's saying it and why? Okay, buying a house when you don't have a family, is that necessary?
No.
If you don't have kids, don't have a family, there's a big ass 10-bedroom house with 5 bathrooms necessary for a single guy?
No. That's why I said, that's because somebody pointed out, I think somebody pointed out it was like black women buy more houses than black men, but I was like, yeah, single mothers buy more houses than single men. So there's that, because they, a man only buys a house when he has a family. A woman, well, if she's a single mother, okay, she has a family, so she's buying a house. So,
why? Well, women want to have a nest, and women are taught from very early on to have a house. Because women nest, right? Because women want to stay in one spot. Men don't normally want to stay in one spot. They want to have more freedom. So it doesn't matter to them whether they rent or buy a house, because they're more mobile, especially if they don't have kids. They can pick up one day and actually move to another state, move another town, another country. So they're not anchored. Men don't nest. So buying a house and that kind of stuff means less to men than it does to women. Like my sister, she's in her 50s, doesn't have kids, not married. She wants to buy a house. My thing is, at 50 years old and don't have any kids or family, why do you want to buy a house? She just wants one because that's what they're ingrained with. That's what they're indoctrinated with, is to buy a house, buy a nest. So it's more. It's some of that is biological, but the thing is, a lot of that is indoctrination. So people saying the Mgtows are losers is that okay? Who's actually saying it and why? You could get as much pussy as you want, but thing is, most of the Mgtows that I know or make $80,000 plus. They're not losers. They're actually they might be geeks. I find more blue pill guys actually socially awkward than Mgtows.
Yeah, I think that just goes back to the perception thing because Mgtows, they are still dealing with women. So they're dealing with they're basically single men still dealing with women, and it's almost to some degree. Go ahead.
Like I said, I'm a Mgtow. Okay, I have 3 children, 3 grandsons. I've been dealing with women since I was 3 years old. Okay, I decided to become a monk because I got tired of the game. So does that mean I'm a loser? I have, my body count in the triple digits. Does that mean I'm a loser because I'm a Mgtow? There's a lot of guys like that. A lot of Mgtow monks like that have already gone through this shit. A lot of ones that I talked originally, a lot of ones that I have talked to, most of the guys are actually divorced, had kids, or went through a whole bunch of pregnancy scares and say, you know what, there has to be another way. But a lot of guys take female, a lot of what they call trad cons, traditional guys, who take a female talking point because they're pro-family. Why wouldn't you want to have a family? Why wouldn't you want to have a wife and kids and a picket fence and a house, all that kind of stuff? And some of the Mgtows actually would if the system was actually fair.
Yeah, that's another charge that gets thrown out there, that even if the system was fair, many of them still wouldn't. They just don't want to. Random pussy is too easy to get nowadays, so it's like, why even bother? Do you think that's a element of it?
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, it's not fair. It doesn't serve me. So why should I do it?
Yeah.
Okay. The burden of manhood, I'm going to actually get to this. Philosophically, the burden of manhood is being the best man that you can be. That's the burden of manhood. Being the best person that you can be. Whether you have kids, whether you don't have kids, whether you get married or whatnot. Now, can kids and marriage help you along that road? Because it actually pushes you towards something, allows you to actually press up against something, sure. But you don't need it. It has nothing, Mgtow and being married and having kids has nothing to do with manhood. So I went to a woman's house I was dealing with, and her high school teenager told me not to be a simp. Mgtow spreading in the high school. Very true.
Damn.
Very true.
He must know his mama on some bullshit. Damn. Falcon Black Mgtow. Hey, your name was recommended. I think I went and subscribed to you. Your name was recommended when I was trying to find somebody to do this show. But okay, he said I just banged a musty pog and rolled off in the sunset.
Okay. Decided not to buy an Apple Watch. I heard that. In fact, with COVID-19, there's a lot of pogs that'll be on up for sale. Okay. It'd be cheaper to actually give her the $5-10 rather than date her.
Oh man.
Coochie's gonna be cheaper than a date at Starbucks.
$40.
Not $40. No, I saw a chick that said $5, $10, and $5 if she likes you.
Damn.
It's real. It's gonna get worse. Wait till after the basically they can actually start charging for rent again and foreclosing on homes after this month. It's gonna get interesting.
Yes, it will. So we're an hour in. We got 522 people in here. Appreciate everybody
All right.
that
The likes aren't even 300. Come on, y'all.
came through. Let's get those likes up. Let's get
Especially
those
you guys.
likes up. We about to. If you want a panel, we got to get these likes up.
I'm gonna give you 3 hours. So basically, yeah, you know, if you guys, if you want a panel, at least get the likes up.
Yeah,
I mean,
we can wrap it up and go home, or we can get them likes on up if we want a panel. And speaking of that, wait, hold on. I just noticed something. Where is that? There it is. I didn't even see that. I almost let a $100 super chat just float right over my head. I skipped right over that one.
She did read it, so. And that's
I didn't even realize. My mind must have said $10 in my head.
What they read up there, no.
Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah, Mgtow it actually is spreading because like anything else, it's called a viral meme, right?
Mm-hmm.
If an idea is good enough and the environment is actually ripe enough, it will actually spread itself, whether not attached to an ideology. So they might not be Mgtows, but guess what? The talking points will actually spread. Like not being a simp and not dealing with not being dealing with single mothers, all that kind of stuff. Like most of the millennials don't want to deal with single mothers. That's actually a Mgtow talking point.
Yeah, Ben, hey, thank you for that super chat. I was trying to find you so I can give you a wrench. Now that comment is all gone. There it is. All right, I appreciate that coming through hard and heavy-handed on that super chat. I appreciate that. All right, y'all. So we about to open this thing up, and I do gotta address this. Things got a little wild and wacky on the last show when the panel opened up, and subjects normally change, and we normally get into some other things, and it was some good conversations that did come out of the switching of the gears.
I heard about that.
Some, a lot of people who had some, they felt they had some things to say about, the subjects here, the topics that we discuss here. And a lot of people, one individual really wanted to try to air out Kevin. And sometimes those conversations can be good, because, it was a conversation about the nature of this space and what it's for and all of that. And those conversations are good, but sometimes it can just turn into just ridiculous personal attacks. We ain't here for that. Let's respect the platform. Let's respect all people. And everybody, I go ahead and name the names, ARC, Angry Man, Obsidian have their long-standing back and forth beefs and all of that. And it went on my...
Me and Obsidian have gone head to head many a time. Okay, Brandon L, many a time. So, and it hasn't turned out too well for him. So,
either way, we ain't here to be clowning.
No.
The audience do seem to like it. They sent a ridiculous amount of money when all the fuckery started, but at the same time, I still, looking back at it, I should have stopped it. I shouldn't have let it go that long. Obsidian's is my guy. He helped me help me build and grow this platform, and so
he does his thing. Let's put it that way.
He definitely does his thing. I shouldn't have let that go on that long. So I do owe Obsidian an apology on that one. But it was those guys, they got long-standing things that I was this ain't my fight. I just stepped out of it and let it go, but I let it go for too long.
It's best to kind of nip it in the bud.
So
you'll learn. You probably learned that lesson the hard way.
Yeah. So going forward, we won't be having that spirited debate nonetheless. We ain't, but yeah, we about to keep it respectful. I will, I get credited for being a real good moderator, but on occasions I just sit back and let it go. And that was an occasion when I probably should have probably should have, just got in that and not let the show just get
wild,
crazy out of hand. And so we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. We're gonna try to stay on topic, and we're gonna try not to get out of hand, and we're gonna not do the personal chest. I go ahead and name Laro, who was accused of being drunk, came up here. He had his attack, coming after Kevin Samuels and all of that. It's like good conversations can be had from that, but overall, like, no, if it's personal attacking, then I got to shut it down.
Yeah, and sometimes that'll happen.
Yep, it happens. It happens.
Figure that you're gonna be on your best behavior when you're on somebody else's platform, so you're ripe for the picking.
Yeah. It's about respecting. Let's respect the platform. Even though it's a balance. It's a tightrope walk. It's a tightrope walk on some, because we ain't no choir boys or Boy Scouts in here. We gonna wild out. We gonna have a good time. And it is what it is. But overall, yeah, we do gotta keep some decency. It ain't get as bad as it did a few weeks ago when a couple weeks ago when ARC and Silent, I think, the ARC and Silent, they had a full blown shootout. Hell, BGS you and Fantastic damn near had a shootout. It was about to get there. I got in and stopped that one from getting bad.
Yeah, he wanted to say what he had to say. The thing is that when I asked him what his sources were, they kind of shut it down. Okay, you pulling stuff out of your ass.
I ain't even responding to that.
Well, you don't have to.
I ain't responding to that.
Fingers crossed for no nigga shit today.
Yeah, and that's all I'm saying. There you go. Fingers crossed for no nigga shit. That's all I'm saying. Let's not let it get wild. Let's not let it get wild. All right. We got Zero in the building. Black Wolf Inc., thank you for that super chat, by the way. And I think I might have missed another one, but y'all know, special thanks and salute to everybody who supports the channel. Y'all been really, really holding it down over here. Nothing but respect for that. Nothing but respect. Zero, like I said, you was on the short list. Of people that I thought about when I
Zero knew me from the Black Nazi speech days. So
yeah. And thing is, no one ever asked BGS in the black sector what Mgtow is. It's been years and years and years. No one even ever asked. They don't think to ask because, like I said, if it goes against pussy, they don't even want to know.
Yeah,
they don't care.
Ibmor kind of developed into something a little wider than what it was supposed to be, but originally it was actually supposed to be Mgtow, but with a black face, basically. Originally, but the thing is, it is what it is.
ARC came through with a super chat. Says, I disagree with a comment in the chat that Mgtow types don't support dating coaches. 2 of my 4 books have been praised by many Mgtow enthusiasts.
Yeah.
The possibility of sex and the debate of male revolution.
Mgtows do date.
Yeah, exactly.
They do date. I don't know where people get that from.
Well, it's
because they heard the word monk.
Oh, everybody, you know what? I have said continuously that the monkhood is not for everybody. Monkhood is like the last thing that you actually want to do, especially if you're young.
Monkhood is an eventuality if
you live long enough.
Yeah, but I would never recommend that shit. Like I said in the chat earlier, to somebody like in their early 20s and shit. It's unrealistic and unreasonable. But the thing is, you know what it is? The primary tenet of Mgtow is basically don't define yourself
by women,
by pussy. That's all.
Unfortunately, black men don't learn that lesson, and that's the problem that they have. They define themselves by pussy.
Yeah, so that's
how much I can get. Am I more popular with pussy?
Who got more bitches?
Who got more bitches? You define by being a concubine, which is one of your roles coming out of slavery, to be a breeder and a concubine to actually produce more offspring for the master. So it's embedded into the culture. Even women define you by how well you please them, which is something that me and Dr. Johnson are actually talking about, that we're defined as 2 things, labor and being and sex.
Yeah, and by the way, because hip hop culture is American culture now, white people on that same shit who got more bitches.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
basically.
one thing I'll say when y'all talking, because this is the first time I heard somebody say that the monk stage or phase of it all, that's the last phase of Mgtow. This is my first time actually hearing that, because and I haven't listened to them in a while actually, but Turd Flinging Monkey, Sandman, they sound like young men. And both of them are Mgtow monks. So again, the perception is out there that when you really just going all in with Mgtow, pushing all your chips to the center of the table.
Sandman is not a monk. He's still date.
Oh well,
he's still date.
He must have been on and off with it.
He on and off with it, but he's not a monk. He dates.
Yeah,
TFM is only a monk in name only. I mean, he has a sex doll. What people don't understand about the sex doll. Hold on, real quick. What people don't understand about the sex doll shit is you have an entire nation working on this for their survival. China. They're actually working on the technology. So it's not. I mean, people can laugh and snicker at it, but when an entire fucking nation, which is about to take control of the world, is working on it for their country's survival, it's not really a laughing matter. Once they figure that fucking artificial intelligence out, and you can't tell the difference between that and a real bitch, all it has to do is show up in a rap video and it's a rap.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason I laughed is because you said he wasn't a monk. If he's not dealing with women at all, he's a Mgtow monk. Having a doll does not upgrade you from.
No. I understand that he's fucking a doll. So yeah. But I'm saying for the purposes of sex, he's monking name. Yeah. I guess you could say that. Technically, he's a monk. But the dude, he always says if the laws change, I mean, there's no need for Mgtow if the laws change at all.
Yeah. The dial. O'Shea Du Jackson in the building. I see you there. Let me see. Shout out Azrael6394 says, shout out to BGS. I'm in my 20s and I enjoy your content. I'm not Mgtow, but I understand the benefits. Out of all the men my age, I know only one is engaged.
Yeah, they say 60% of men that are actually young millennials or Zs will not get married.
Right. Yeah, I just read a news article on that today. The younger generation they're basically opting completely the fuck out of marriage, and this is why you have traditional marriage related institutions failing. Well, companies like jewelry stores and family oriented companies like that produce Pampers or wedding dresses and all the rest of it. They fucking filing for bankruptcy. They can't make any money because no one's engaging in the activity.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Pamela?
What's up, Ben? I didn't mean to leave you. I didn't mean to leave you on ignore for that.
No worries, man. I'm just sitting back enjoying. But just to touch on that, there's a company in Las Vegas, and this lady was the first lady that had the big wedding ceremonies out in Las Vegas. It folded. She's selling. She's like, man, this is falling fast, and in a hurry. She got out.
That makes sense. If you look around social media, you're going to notice that the audience of women that are involved in like male rights issues is really, really young. You have to don't pay attention to the older women that are involved. I'm saying the younger women, they are like in their fucking early 20s and they're getting involved because they're trying to figure out why all of these men are bailing out.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the younger women thing. They're trying to figure the shit out. The older women still thinking like pussy first. Well, so anyway, before I keep going, BGS, the only thing I disagreed with you about was when you said feminism failed. The thing is, I would call it a failure on the issue where you said that they can't replace a man. This is true. They don't want to, and they don't need to. The thing is, they have the power with no responsibility, and they're satisfied with that. And it's to the point where the hardcore feminists, those bitches, those are the ones that want the ERA to pass. And by the way, the ERA is back into the ratification game because of abortion law. I don't know if you read it. They're trying to bring the ERA back into the ratification talks because of abortion law, because our situation is getting so dire that if we don't improve our birth rate, the foreigners are going to take over. So
yeah, of course.
Anyway, that's an aside. So they don't want to be the man. They don't want to replace men in that regard and like having all the responsibility of the household. They want the power and no responsibility. They just want to keep their privileges under the banner of, I'm using quote fingers, equality.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they want. They don't give a fuck about being a man. As far as like the effect of Mgtow, you're right. It's effective. But it's two sides to it. Like, so on the one side, it's effective because people are catching on, but then what does that do for your society's birth rate? Because if Mgtow catches on widespread, then men are like, fuck that. But on the other hand, it does have the effect of making women bend the knee. Some examples of that is when women supposedly are dating and marrying down, but their barometer for that is college education, which is bullshit, because men are running away from college because it's been effeminized, and they just jump into the trades and they make the same or more money than they would have if they went to college. Yeah, even more. And these women are marrying $6-figure, $1 million dudes and then saying that they married down simply because their barometer is college. Another example is, it's real simple, but it's super visible. Trump getting voted in. That's another example of women kind of bending the knee because of the effect of it. And then a less visible example is what I said earlier, where you have the younger generation of women coming in and saying, why the fuck are these niggas bailing out?
Without state-sponsored power, feminism cannot survive, right?
Yeah, right.
And if you're not keeping up with the birth rate, then the society will actually stop funding feminism.
Right. Oh shit, BGS. I don't know if you heard when we talked about this a few weeks ago on Bernard's channel, but one of the ways to defund feminism, was like to do like all the other countries in the modern world where they have legalized prostitution. I know niggas like to fucking laugh when I say that shit, but when you decriminalize prostitution, you make women replaceable.
Yeah.
And then the market, I think I talked about this with you on Art New Styles channel too.
Basically the price of marriage will actually go down.
Exactly.
To go down. Basically, come on, let's be real. Most guys don't get married to have kids and have a family. They get married to fuck.
Yes. Access to the pussy.
Access to the pussy.
Hold on, Zero. I've always you've been saying that for a while. I've always had some disagreement because guys are getting it without getting married. So
no, we like to say that.
Yeah.
I know. Hold on. There's a percentage that have to put that much commitment on the table just to get it. I'll give you that all day. There's a percentage. It's a percentage of men that can't get it at all unless it's in the context of a committed relationship with terms and conditions.
So give me a number.
Ooh,
give me a number. It's a percentage. Give me a number. Give me a ballpark figure. It doesn't have to be accurate.
Okay, that's a good question.
Even if
I almost want to defer to the 80-20 rule and say
no.
But even if you don't, just look at the failure rate. I mean, even if you don't have a percentage, just look at the failure rate.
And if you listen to people like C Boogie, the reason why these chicks be leaving niggas is because they didn't want these motherfuckers in the first place. The desire factor. So a lot of these chicks. Anyway, what's up, y'all?
There's a lot of reasons that women bail out of marriages. Sometimes they desire you. Sometimes it's boredom. There's a lot of over. Bernard can tell you over a period of a long relationship, things do change.
Right.
She'll be on fire for you when you first get married, but just like eating the best steak in the world every day.
Yep. The reason doesn't even matter. It's just that if you don't have a mechanism to have any leverage or incentive to keep it going.
Oh yeah.
That's
and that call back to the wild. That call back to the wild is stronger than it's ever been because there's literally no. You have people that are born with no generation with no consequences, no fault divorce. There is no consequences. There is every incentive in the world and no social consequences, let alone actual tangible consequences to women getting divorced.
It's, some parts of feminism will actually help men, believe it or not. Is because if you think about it, that the divorce laws, child support laws are based on the old patriarchal system. Okay, the men are actually own the kids, are responsible for the kids, are responsible for the woman once she gets divorced and whatnot. With women making more money, they have to change the divorce laws because.
Oh my God, I was just talking about this yesterday.
Yeah. So a lot of the divorce laws are actually changing to where there's no alimony anymore.
Right, because marriage and relationships used to be a property rights issue, like you said, but now it's not. It's a negotiation. It's an agreement. And the thing is, if you don't have any leverage or incentive, what are you negotiating? Because if you say I can give you protection of provision, again, that's hilarious. They already get that from men collectively, which is known as the government.
Yep.
And then if you say I'll give you money, they already have money because they get first dibs on everything through all of the institutions they co-opted. So at this point, you basically are like asking them to submit to what?
Zero until they don't. What's going on right now?
Until they
What's
don't.
going on right now?
Yeah, and shout out to Ramil. When we talked about this yesterday, like with the and the funny, and Gabe A was on there, and it's just when I hear what they say, they don't even want to address the concerns with like counter addressing, like, oh, the laws are changing, stuff like that. They just want to sell marriage on some fucking hope. Like at that point, that's all it is. And I'm like, okay, take the marriage out of it. If you were gonna go into any business partnership, which is what marriage kind of is similar, right?
No, it is.
So,
marriage contracts are
so you take love out of it. This stuff would be insane. You would never get to the table. In fact, you would never call somebody or tell them to call you again on that.
If they didn't indoctrinate you and socialize you that marriage is the best thing since sliced bread, you probably wouldn't even do it at this stage.
Yeah, well, in the black community, it's all about black love. Well, the whole community is black love is build the black community.
That's a female talking point,
and niggas love it.
No, they don't. Not all
Edward, of them. Marriage contracts are actually American business law. So you spot on that shit. Like it is business law. It is a contract.
Always has been.
It's the only contract that's amendable on the fly, though.
And look at how the religious, the churches and so forth has gotten involved, and they've been pushing that on us as people for a long time. And I shout out to Stephen Jackson, how his, I guess, fiance basically had the preacher in on it, and the preacher was like saying, "Hey, you don't need a prenup."
Damn.
So the religion, and most of us as blacks, I know I was kind of came up in the church a little bit,
Well, they don't even do that much
hold on,
anymore.
real quick.
Like,
OJ, thanks again for that super chat. And that brother P-Dat came through.
Hey, brother P-Dat, what's up?
$20 super chat.
Yeah.
Thanks, salute, appreciate you. Go ahead.
This is the main thing I wanted to get out before I fall back. Y'all was talking about Mgtow, like Bernard was kind of asking questions about like the perception of it, and this is the main thing I wanted to put out here. Folks are gonna believe what the fuck they want to believe. And if you take Mgtow out of it, you hear the same thing when folks talk about dudes going overseas. It's all these stupid ass perceptions, like women in the third world, they're all in poverty, they all live in dirt floors, whether they're Africa, South America, And I'm talking about dudes, because we know what the women are going to say. I'm talking about dudes that try to project this stuff out. It's the same thing when you talk about certain religions. Same thing when you talk, like, dude, people will believe what they want to believe. So when they talk, they act like they don't understand what Mgtow is, or they try to make it so much more complicated than what the fuck it really is. They're doing that as a tool, or it's the same thing when people say Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter. It's the same thing with Kaepernick, and y'all, regardless how y'all feel about Kaepernick, when he put a knee and they kept on making it, oh, it's about the flag. This is a way for people to create situations as which they can put propaganda out there in order to try to shut something down. But like BGS has often said, the problem with Mgtow that other people really have is that it doesn't matter if people are talking or not talking. As long as the problem exists, the results are still going to happen. It may happen a little bit slower, but it's still going to happen. Look at what you don't hear nobody really talk about Mgtow like that in mainstream media. Outside of really social media, you hear it here and there sometimes, but for the most part, it doesn't exist in the mainstream lexicon yet. Look at the results.
They can't.
Well, but what I'm saying is, look at what's happening. Look at the numbers you just said with disease. Look at what's happening. It's all because it doesn't matter, because it's the problem. When people talk about Mgtow, they're just speaking to what they're going to do to deal with it. So when folks, and I wanted to say this too, because Bernard, when I was on here, I did my one-on-one, and I was talking about how you need to disconnect from your mom as far as being red pill. We already know how that interaction went. I already told BGS Bernard. It was and look, and I'm not even I'm absolutely happy Platinum said what he said, because a lot of dudes think that way. So at least it can be confronted directly versus other people will think that way, and then they'll say a whole bunch of stupid shit like I don't understand or this sounds like it's that to me, rather than actually squaring up on somebody and saying it straight up and then letting somebody actually answer the question. Because a lot of black men think that, because like y'all said before, a lot of black men view who they are as men at the core based on the bitches they get. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but Edward, the thing is, in polite society, one of the rules of Mgtow is you don't talk about Mgtow.
Yeah.
You just do it.
You just do it.
So
Yeah.
that's why you don't hear it. Like when people are acting on this shit, they're doing it.
Yeah.
That's why I like the younger generation. I call them generation don't get no fuck, because them niggas out there surfing, riding snowboards and all kinds of other shit and ignoring bitches. They travel. And matter of fact, if you travel, well, before COVID hit, if you travel, you would have saw a bunch of just young people traveling. All in the little paradise countries that you want to call them, because that's what they doing. They getting away from what they're doing. There's a lot of dudes at like the companies I work at that have mail order brides because they're avoiding American marriage, and they haven't even married these women. They just bring them over here, and they bring them over. They don't marry them. They have kids with them, because what they're doing is they're like, if you fuck up, you're going home with your green card.
Yeah. And white people have been talking about, see, a lot of people don't understand. There's forums and shit that go all the way back to the early 90s, or like the not early 90s, but like the late 90s, where white dudes have been going overseas, breaking, like black men are just, so when people always try to frame it like, well, white dudes, no, they're the first ones who's doing this. Another thing you need to pay attention to is the single motherhood rate amongst white folks, because that's another barometer. Because it's not really a problem with black men are doing shit, because black men are supposed to be fucked up. But when white men are doing it, because they have the numbers, and obviously they're white, they can really move the society. So as you start to see motherfuckers get laid off, Glenn and Cameron is always talking about this van life stuff that's starting to take off, which is mainly white folks that are doing that. You're seeing that there's no money to get married. When there's no money, white men are not getting married. White men are not taking care of families if they can't. This is why these welfare laws got put into place in the first place, because white dudes would say fuck it. So now what you're seeing is
actually it is. That's true.
Yeah.
Well,
so as these younger dudes are coming into it in a fucked up situation, because they were sold this damn hot jobs, getting the finance bullshit like everybody else, and then the shit kind of crashed. Because like I said, we've had 2 crashes in the last decade when it comes to like not jobs and shit. These white dudes are already coming out the gate like that. So now what is it? Now you got these white females, they looking for anybody if they're in that mindset that's in the class level. And so that it's a domino effect. So that's the number I pay attention to, is that white single motherhood level.
All right. Nick O says, Mgtow, focus on trades, not leisure. Thank you for that super chat. I appreciate that. And Charles Keys came through with a super chat. He says, get a 4 from DC, master's degree, or a 9 from
Bogota. Bogota, Colombia.
Bogota? What is that?
In other words, get a 4 from DC with an MS degree, with a Miss degree, in other words, feminist, or a 9 from Bogota, Colombia, that's feminine.
Gotcha. See what he's saying.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, one question I want to throw out there. I suspect I know with the, whoa, shit, hold on. We got 600 people in here. I don't even know. I think that might be the record. I think
BGS be bringing, we get Black Ram on here too.
Yeah, but that and Mgtow, you got a lot of Mgtows coming.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Even Jab had like 600 people earlier this morning. I'm like, what the fuck y'all doing? Hangover talk.
Hit that like button, fellas. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I do this every morning at about 9 o'clock, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Question I want to throw out there. When you're talking about all this walking away, now this is what I see happening, and this could be my, because I do believe in family. I love families. The idea of family, all of that. Yeah, I'm a little pie in the sky when it comes.
Yeah, divorce you didn't learn from divorce, but go ahead.
Well, I got custody of my kids, so
I'm saying that for the Mgtows that are listening. I'm just saying that for the Mgtows.
Well, he's not a Mgtow, so
yeah, I'm not a Mgtow.
Because they'll be like, what the fuck is this?
I got custody of my kids, so in a way, I feel like I'm still on the job. Just the woman is not here, so I feel like I'm.
Good job though.
So in that sense, it's like nothing changed. It changed, but I'm still on the job.
Yeah, that would be extremely rare 20 years ago.
Yeah,
that's like the closest. That's like the closest thing Because you know when you hear dudes say like I'm Mgtow minded, but I'm married. Like your situation is like the closest thing I think that most Mgtow say. All right, yeah, you know, we may not still say you Mgtow, but you know, you as close as we could, you know, because most dudes don't do that. Get control of it. You basically you remove the woman from the situation.
So would you get married again, Bernard?
Oh man,
yeah,
right. Basically, the right bitch with the right ass.
You're a Mgtow. All right, you're a Mgtow. Yeah.
Hey, well, put it like this: after my divorce, I said I will never do a relationship again. I didn't know what a Mgtow was.
You were a Mgtow.
But yeah, I was essentially a de facto Mgtow without even knowing what it is.
Exactly.
Right now,
exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah. Right now, I'm in a relationship. I'm very happy. She so you know, so. Yeah, but let me get my question.
As long as she stays in her house, right?
We do live in separate houses, even though we've been living together during the quarantine. We've been de facto living together.
Mgtow level 2.
All right. call it what you want to. Call it what you want to. I have no problem with that. But anyway, I got to get to my question. But real quick, Texas in Peace is showing support. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And Alpha Sigma came through with a super chat. He says, "Read Men on Strike" by Dr. Helen Smith.
Yep, very famous book in the Mgtow community. Men on Strike.
Yep, absolutely. Let's see what else. I think that's it. So here's a question, because I feel like it's a de facto let it burn type of thing. Well, this is what I see happening. If men who are making calculated decisions to pull from the system, so to speak, those are smart thinking men, to use that phrase. Those are smart thinking men who got a good head on their shoulders, because they
already got the answer to your question. Go ahead.
They stepped back, they looked at it. And if a guy can step back and look at it like that, that's typically a guy who's smart, who's going to do well in other areas of his life. That's the perfect type of guy that would be right for the system, for marrying a woman and being a good father, many of them. So what's happening if guys that are thinking are walking off and separating from it, but we always know that the worst of men are still going to be having sex with and impregnating these women. What is ultimately going to make is a situation like the situation we got, but worse. And it's just going to just turn into more of the gynocracy, more of the matriarchy.
But can those guys support the weight of the gynocracy?
Exactly. Thank you.
Yep. And a lot of I hate to use the term, we're gonna call it productive men. I'm not gonna use the B word. A lot of productive black men are basically saying, fuck this. They're not playing the stepdaddy. This ain't the 80. What ain't gonna happen. And I swear, if this happens, I'm not even gonna claim being black no more. I'm gonna go mid. I'm that fucking mad. If you niggas do what that happened in the 80s, where in the 90s we ramped up the stepdaddy insurance plan. If I see that in the next 6-7 years, I'm done. I'm done with black men. I'm saying that right now. But I don't believe the Z's are not doing that shit. The Z's are not doing we need to take care of these kids. Gentrification is already in, so people gonna be in mixed neighborhoods. They aren't getting that.
I think the boomers were the last generation that would actually want to do that, become stepfathers like that.
Yeah, so that's the only thing. Now I'll say, I thought you was gonna go the route, and because you didn't go where I thought you were gonna go. Is like, is there so many black people let it burn types? The reality is, most dudes are ready for the laws to change to actually try to create a family. At least at this point, because it showed that, because these women started to come to the table, these motherfuckers showed they were definitely willing and ready to negotiate. But if shit gets overtly bad, and that's another thing, it's a lot of this shit is overt too, to speed it up. Where bitches, like, you got women openly saying, I left them because I belong to the streets. Like even though they're aware but not aware, it's like that. You hearing that shit is just any dude that wants to hope. That shit's gonna remind them real quick. I'd be a fucking fool, especially if you got something real to lose. Now, if you ain't got nothing to lose and you on this partnership because you really want a roommate that you can fuck, well, that's a different type of dude, and those dudes will get assessed based on their beauty qualifications on those what those females have to those dudes. But the problem is, what you're starting to see, and these cuts are happening with Trump and with the government in general, and COVID is only going to speed that shit up. Like, BGS, you did that video on the multiple trillions of dollars, which is more than what the fuck you talking about. When that bill comes due, that shit's going to hit just like COVID did. It's gonna hit like a fucking freight train, and America is the type of country some people are just gonna fall off.
Yeah. We have a saying on my channel talk about candy grams, right? Drive by a chick that actually gonna lay it up with you because they want to have sex. Now we're changing to ronograms, chicks trying to get with you because they need a place to stay and some kind of resources to actually tap into. A lot of ronograms are actually flying around right now.
You're gonna see younger chicks get with older dudes. You're gonna see like that Marcus Houston. You're gonna see that because at the end of the day, these women are being dialed back, and all that gynocracy shaming shit. What you really gonna start to see is these females start to buck because they're gonna start saying, at the end of the day, the only thing you offering is a nigga ain't shit. There ain't nothing you saying other than that. But at the end of the day, not only do they need shelter, but a lot of these chicks want a lifestyle because the Instagram and shit.
Okay, but Edward, here's
these old hoes ain't got no answer for that.
Hold on, Edward. Go ahead, Zero.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. If we're looking at the Black manospheres or just the manosphere as a microcosm of what's going on in society, this is why I say niggas is negotiating the terms and they don't surrender. If we look at the numbers for prostitution in the United States, it is in the billions per year. Just OnlyFans alone is $700 million.
Okay.
So the thing is, so the thing is, here's the thing. America is going to want a piece of that money, and America doesn't want to pay any more bills. They don't want to pay bitches bills, really. They don't. And the only way to get around that is to legalize prostitution, because if you don't, and it stays illegal, pussy is overpriced. Stays overpriced.
Well, they can get that money without it.
But all of the ancillary effects that comes along with that, like male thirst and niggas still wanting to get married, niggas still want to take that bad deal, and all the rest of it, all of that comes with it.
It's called supply and demand, Zero. What happens when you flood the market?
You commoditize it.
In other words, it gets cheaper, right?
Yeah,
and that's why.
So if there are no jobs out there, what if 40 million women actually flood the market with pussy? What's going to happen?
The price will go down.
The price is going to go way down. It's already going way down. Price has already been cut in half in the last, let's say, 6 months. What's going to happen when they start kicking chicks out of their apartments and stuff like that? Where are they going to go? What are they going to do?
Right, they'll sell pussy for canned goods.
And for canned goods, right? In fact, now I predict in 6 months, it'd be cheaper to actually give her the $10 and to fuck her rather than take her on a Starbucks date.
Yeah, because it's happened before. Strawberry shit.
I was a young man in the 80s. I saw this happen already.
Right. I guess the legality is to protect men. That's where I'm going with it. Because again, New York has the most comprehensive bill.
Well, nothing they do is designed to protect men. I mean, the only reason why
that's why I just said New York has the most comprehensive bill that it gets rid of all of the caveats, all of that enthusiastic yes, that shit goes away. All of that fucking consent, enthusiastic consent, yes means yes, allegation shit, all of that goes away under that bill.
It's the most sex trafficking bullshit.
Yeah, there's one in Maryland too. I pulled it up on my stream. Like, these are real bills that you can go check out for yourself. The one in New York is the most comprehensive. The legality is the problem.
The thing is, you guys looking at legality. The environment will set the legality, right? They're not doing this out of the goodness of their heart. The women don't have jobs, they can't survive, they don't have any husbands. What are they going to do? How are they going to make a living? Are you going to support them? I actually let them go out and make the money the way that they can. What you gonna do with them?
Yeah, and what you gonna start to see?
You gotta let them sell pussy.
It's gonna start to get so horrible that a lot of these females, and this may not be in every culture, but I wouldn't be surprised if Black women don't start just dropping these babies off. Like, it's gonna get that bad, because here's the thing: you got grandparents. Grandparents are pretty much at the You got more Tokyo Tony grandparents than you do. That's fucked up. They're BGS style grandparents. So for real though. That's where we are now. This is 20,
Black China's
her mom.
This is 2020. This is 2020. Shout out to O'Shea. That's the only reason I know who the fuck Tokyo Tony is, because of the L that Black China's taking. But anyway, so let's keep it real. So everybody's parents are not gonna. And I won't say that. You ain't got to be a Tokyo Tony type of chick to not not necessarily, you're not going to re-raise folks. And if you raise your kids right and they do what the fuck they wanted to do, you may help, but it ain't not going to be no, bitch, you get to club while I'm re-raising grandkids. No. A lot of these
she raised her the way she wanted to raise her. She was a stripper. She raised her daughter to be a stripper.
Well, I ain't even talking about Tokyo Tony. I'm just being, you don't got to be necessarily a bad grandparent in order to check the women. And what's going to start to happen too, let's say you got the good like folks that are about to be grandparents. These women going to really start telling them, look, I'm not raising these kids on the second round. So you pick a nigga that ain't shit if you want to, or you play games if you want to, you're going to be dealing with that L. And that you're going to start to see that more and more, because that's another thing these women don't really be thinking about. They be telling these chicks what to do and what not to do. And at the end of the day, a lot of these women keep holding the bag because they taught their daughters and shit. Like I said, I refer you to Kevin Samuels and all these goofy ass chicks that either don't have kids or they got kids and they act like they don't even know what the fuck they these are dudes that were married now. These are not like to say niggas that ain't shit. I married him, but I just left him. I refer you to that because it's retarded. Now, as far as that prostitution shit, my thing is that I think they can en route that. I think what they'll do, because the thing about it, these women are going to be like, that's slow like down, waving the white flag. Slow down.
You stick to one topic, okay?
Okay, so what Zero was talking about, I think what they're going to start doing is start being a lot more ruthless about taxing these people. Exactly. Like they're not gonna like on the back end, even because if they legalizing it would be for the states to get the money. But
legalizing it will actually open it up a lot further than women are allowed to open it up.
Yes,
so, it's women that don't want prostitution. It's not men.
Yeah. Because they know once you do that, they open those floodgates, so women are going to run to it and quite.
You would kill marriage. It has
nobody's going to get married.
And it's over. The women lost. At that point, it's over.
Whoa, that's temporary. See, I always say that's temporary.
Why?
Yes, in the beginning, there will always be that fucking bull run. But here's the thing: we have historical precedents. Every other industrialized nation on the planet almost has some form of legalized prostitution. And all it does is it checks hypergamy and makes women replaceable. You want to know why you see married?
Well, they also don't got our fucking laws either.
Hold on, Ed.
The reason why you see married dimes in other countries is because they're replaceable. Do you see married dimes in America like that?
Wow.
No.
That's the thing. If you make them replaceable, you check the hypergamy. It's almost a default. Yeah. You check the hypergamy by default because they're replaceable, and they have to compete.
And they have to compete.
And you know what's crazy?
And the laws will be the first things to be removed.
Hold on,
we as men here in this country, we always see ourselves as replaceable, or they make us think you'll be replaceable. Like Beyonce say, to the left, I have somebody here to replace you.
Yeah, that shit
in the moment. So yeah, we're just the opposite.
Well, you know how niggas are.
Well, basically, black women have you convinced that you're replaceable, but actually, black men are not because there's too few of them.
Yeah, the way they talk it's half the male population that ain't black make six figures. You let these motherfuckers talk.
Yeah, right. you know what good looking women here do? They hop on fucking Instagram. Like here's the kicker about America. We have perfected what I call bad bitch surgery. If you look around you, all of these bitches got the same commoditized look, the same thick eyebrows. It was popularized in California where BGS lives. It was popularized there with the same thick eyebrows, the same nose job, the same chin. Because the thing is, the surgery has gotten to a level where they just model your face into a computer and ask you what you want.
Well, it's
and everyone has the
starter
same
kit because them hoes ain't getting married.
But the thing is, everyone has the same look because the surgery has been perfected to a degree where it's like there's no deviation from the look, so they don't fuck your face up. Like you have experiments. Like look at Lil' Kim. She was an experiment. If you look at like nose jobs in the past, like rhinoplasty, it was all experimental, but now it's perfected and now everyone looks the same. It's this, I call it the California look, the same lips, the same eyebrows, the same eyes, the same fucking, the same eye separation, the same eye shape, the same fucking everything. They just sculpt your face to have this commoditized look.
So when we commoditize things, what happens to the price?
The price goes,
So with now that's you have a competition for looks now because everybody looks the same, right? So the ugly chicks don't get no play.
Right, and it enabled all of these chicks that engaged in bad bitch surgery to go and hoe it up.
They're trying to chase with higher caliber dudes.
Yeah.
And it's not enough of them. Like, and the number of higher caliber dudes are actually going down as you start to see automation kick in, a different lookout in the economy kick in. You even start to see that with other companies. But 10 years ago, I mean, Sears was still in existence. Now they're gone. I mean, you have a different set of companies, a different set of dudes, younger set of dudes that have a different set of mind. Obviously, these tech guys are more what look like Xers, 40s, 50s now, because Bill Gates was like one of the first generation. Now you got like the more second tier dudes, like 10, maybe 15 years younger. So it changes the whole situation. And at the end of the day,
if you think about it, COVID-19 because the entertainment industry got cut, like live entertainment, like concerts, movies, sports, all them ballers actually holding up the system. This baller system actually got cut. And they had to dump all those.
I didn't think about that. Oh shit!
Had to dump all those chicks back down into the pool. So all those 8, 9s, and 10s are actually looking for a baller, and enough of them now.
And a lot of them folks are lifestyle folks. Even them entertainment dudes, they don't be protecting their money. They were talking about that, especially with black folks talking to them, because they don't get access to like a lot like the Adam Sandler style deals, and they're not set up like Tyler Perry and shit. Because most of them are not smart like that. So they ain't got that kind of money to be just throwing it away like that. I mean, you can even look at what people like Lil Wayne, who they dating. I didn't even think about it like that. And that's wow, man. And a lot of that shit ain't coming back.
The Fig Stroll is over. I ain't been down there in years, Blackfoot, so I don't even know what's happening over there. The Fig Stroll.
And Netflix, and you got companies like Netflix, Amazon's getting into the game right now where they're not necessarily paying the same shit, because they can always get actors that are still known but are kind of like phasing out. Like Charlize Theron I understand what she's doing, that Black Boy, but whatever. She got a movie coming out later this week, Friday, which actually looks good. It's got a black chick in it called Olgar, and they've been sharing that, but she's not getting paid what she would normally get paid, because at the end of the day, her best years are behind her. So they're not getting the same kind of money. And when you look at Netflix and these other companies, they can condense down like people that it takes to do their productions. So, and that's just one example. You look at sports. Where a lot of these dudes are opting out. Is less like the dudes that are like in the lower tiers.
There ain't no money because nobody's playing. Okay, the NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL can't pay you if they don't have any income coming in. So
how much Cam get?
So half. I'm talking about the other half. 70% of those guys are actually not making that kind of money. They don't have that kind of money. They actually year to year. And they're broke. They can't have 7 baby mamas or 7 side chicks like they used to have to cut down to 1. They don't have to, all those bad bitches got to get dumped back down into the pool and compete.
Damn, nigga, it's the whole apocalypse. You need to change this fucking title.
I've been telling you guys for months that COVID was actually going to do what I said was going to happen, rather than 5 years in 5 months. It's already happened.
Shout out to BGS for just explaining why OnlyFans. He just explained OnlyFans.
I applaud OnlyFans. Go ahead and saturate the market. OnlyFans had to cut off the membership because it's actually getting too saturated.
Yep.
Wow.
Damn. Yep.
Yeah.
I can't say anything bad about COVID because it enabled me to get 2 jobs. So.
And my overtime, like the stuff that I'm doing, I'm working for. In fact, I actually cut off.
I log into routers and switches and computers all day. I don't have any extra shit. It's just I log into 2 different jobs every day. It's amazing.
You can walk in with your robe on. And
I'm sitting here right now with a fucking robe and coffee. You're exactly right.
I got tea and shorts. But what I will say is, that's another thing that they're gonna start doing with that machine learning. As far as OnlyFans, what they're gonna start doing is just the folks that start performing, like the ones that are bringing in the majority of money. Because somebody showed me the screenshot. They actually got a thing where they track, like, if you're in the top 0.3% or the top 0.03% or something, they actually put that on certain people's badges. because people will post that, say, oh, like their stuff is good. Oh, don't let them have a rating system on that bitch. They don't want that.
That's fine. What happens when you can actually get the for the price of OnlyFans, you actually go out and get some real pussy?
Oh, well, then you're fucking.
That was something that I never understood about OnlyFans. Like, dudes are really paying this money just to watch a girl on her webcam.
It's
Bernard, it's worse than that. Niggas is paying for pieces of the girlfriend experience. Look, me and MOT and a bunch of other people, we pulled up the real shit. Niggas is paying for professional cuddle services.
Yeah.
Nigga, you understand?
Well, that's on OnlyFans?
No. This is just there are other sites that exist besides OnlyFans that provide these services. They pay for pieces of girlfriend experience, like having a pretty girl text you in the morning. Niggas are paying for this shit.
Yeah.
What's cheaper, to have the girlfriend or have the girlfriend experience?
Oh my God, the experience.
And another thing
do without the experience.
Well, that's
what escorts traditionally played that role. Where if you were a high value dude, you would just pay for an escort. Now, a professional escort. I mean, this isn't. If you read the book Super Freakonomics, it actually goes over this better than I can explain it here. Mm-hmm. And they had the actual escorts with their testimony, so they weren't pulling out of their ass. And so basically you pay for the escort, the professional escort, which gives you the girlfriend experience. She knows how to converse with politicians and all kinds of shit. Basically, like, what's the Japanese equivalent of that, BGS? Fuck.
Oh, you're talking about the what do they call them?
It slips in my mind right now.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So anyway, the American women, geisha. There you go, Evan.
Girl.
So these women would do the same thing geishas would do, but just in an American sort of way. You take them to functions and stuff like that, and then at the end of the day, you have sex with them and they leave.
And basically, for the high value women, they're doing the exact same thing with guys.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this, and then I'm hopping off. The answer, Bernard's point, because people always ask that, I don't understand. I'm like, how can y'all not understand that and then understand why people go to strip clubs? Like, I've never understood that. Like, if you look at when you look at strip clubs in the lexicon of like even hip hop, or you look at it like, especially in the 2010s, I'm in love with a stripper, all like that was what a lot of that shit's about. You look at these chicks now, they're pretty much walking strippers, Megan Stallion.
Basically, OnlyFans did replace strip clubs. I would agree with that.
Yeah. So I don't understand. So the only difference is you're used to that. That's it. But as far as the other difference, also if you basically this, even though it's not traditionally strip club, what you see on OnlyFans is pretty much pictures. They basically monetize dick, basically pussy pics and pussy videos, and basically allow them to upload that and decide to do they want and get money for it. It's actually whoever came up. That's originally OnlyFans was not intended to be that way, but that's how it happened. Just like how YouTube was intended to be a dating site. And then it just turned into what YouTube is, and then Google bought them. People forget that. So
here's the thing. There's levels to everything. I mean, paying $20 for $20 for a naked chick to sit in your lap and dance around is a different in a better experience. Probably induce more blue balls, but a better experience than paying $20 to look at a picture. Two different things.
Okay.
Under COVID-19, can you go to a strip club, Bernard?
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. I wasn't averaging COVID into the equation. COVID.
Damn COVID.
Ed, hold on for a second, man. Hold on for a second. Before COVID-19, what was OnlyFans? A small site, right?
Mm-hmm.
OnlyFans was growing before that, but go ahead.
It was a small site. It exploded when COVID-19 hit. All the strippers actually went to OnlyFans.
Yep.
It took the place of the strip club. That's all it did.
And also, you got to understand, if you somebody that's been overseas, Bernard, they'll look at you stupid because they like, I could for a couple dollars more, I could buy the bitch and take the bitch home for a night. Because remember, America is extremely conservative as far as how they do strip clubs. Nowhere else does strip clubs like the United States.
I don't strip club. I don't do strip clubs.
No, I know you don't. But what I'm speaking to is this mindset that black men have. Is the only difference is you grew up with it. That's it. It's not I don't understand it. It's the same thing. You saying because you seeing somebody in person, for the most part, you really can't touch the chicks in strip clubs. No, not really. Like you talk about them touching you. So my point is, so it's you make it like it's a much bigger gap than what it is. Also, Cam Soda and all these other sites have been in existence. I mean, this stuff been in existence. I mean, shit, Bang Bros, which is a porn site, they almost had the ability to buy the Miami Heat their stadium name. They has that amount of money before any OnlyFans shit, and they've been around like 10, 15 years now.
Yeah,
so I mean, this stuff has been in existence.
This isn't the same thing. So when OnlyFans exploded OnlyFans is one of those things where we would just put it under accessibility. So much so that even dating sites started to do their own version of OnlyFans. Like if you go POF mobile site and all the rest of these dating sites, they have a version of the type of shit that OnlyFans is doing, and motherfuckers is literally shelling out money at bitches that just be on camera. It's bitches that got their cameras pointed at the ceiling.
Oh, they've been doing
and niggas is in there throwing money.
They've been doing it. Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of women that build like even the smart women. They'll be on Twitch and stuff like that. And that was happening before, and they would just put a gamer tag on it or something like that. At the end of the day, that money's there, but that money is finite. That's one thing I will, because another thing folks have not considered that when you get a lot of some of these South American chicks, they start to get access to that market because it's hard for them to get electronics because of the tariffs and stuff. You know, there's other markets that can plug into the American markets. Remember, this is money that can be easily transferred anywhere via Cash App, via their platforms. So it's not like, okay, well now you've controlled the market to just within the United States. But at the end of the day, that money is finite. That money does have a saturation point, just like how you see in Instagram, how every bitch is on fucking Fashion Nova affiliate, and a lot of these chicks are broke, even though they trying to change their GPS shit to show they in a city that they not in or like overseas. Don't believe that. Mosey's only so the more they come, and here's what's gonna happen too. You're gonna see women that were just like how with Tommy Sotomayor or other people. You're gonna see people that were positioned in the right time, and then they're gonna be able to zoom up, and then you're gonna see a lot of chicks doing like turning tricks, basically saying they open for business in other ways because it's gonna be harder and harder. Then I'm gonna say this to them all. You got these chicks coming in from fucking high school that they own this whole shit off the gate. So now they know as soon as I get 18, I'm out. I'm going. Because Instagram shit is already set up for them to do that. And if you want to believe that these chicks are not thinking that way, they are thinking that way. And I've seen, and this is obviously, I've seen with chicks, like with these young rappers that are like 18, 19, 20, right? They will take the Cardi B model. They are literally a rapper. And when I say a rapper, I mean they have shit on Spotify. They actually have some shit put up, not no bullshit. And then they're stripping. They're doing the same thing. I'm like, God damn. So they're literally following that Nicki Minaj, Cardi B model. And so you got multiple vectors of saturation. You got the international saturation. Then you got the younger shit, which you know how it is in the porn industry. Once you get a certain age, you get turned out. They don't care. So you're gonna see something in the next couple of years. It's gonna be like, what the fuck? And these women, they're not gonna have no choice but to say some shit. But anyway, my bad.
All right, get out of there. Todd City says this woman in the manosphere getting money to pander to men without even camming up. Get out of there, Todd City. Also, there was a bunch of people that came through with super chats. Let's see, Ezreal, Osama Abdul, JoJo, Drunkard, Cat, Harambe, Blackfoot, and Falcon Black. Thank all of y'all for coming.
Ty City, y'all want to talk to him? You guys want to argue with him, so they just giving you guys what you want. You guys want women to argue with.
To Ty City's credit, that's not Ty City. Ty City is
no.
One to separate from that.
There's a lot of guys that want to argue with women and go back and forth and negotiate and that kind of stuff. So basically, so I don't blame them. Take advantage of it.
Yeah, I don't mind a discussion or debate or a conversation. That's where I'm at with that. I don't.
Look, I said yesterday on Sister Georgia's channel, I said they need to get that stream together and call it submission, and then they can just go ahead and let them niggas come up and negotiate the terms of their own surrender, because that's what they want to do. I mean, like, why half-ass it and keep getting up there venting and complaining about bitches all the time? Just go up there and negotiate.
If you don't want to be red pill, don't be red pill.
Exactly. Just go negotiate.
Right.
But I love it because that actually exposes guys for what they really are. Stop talking.
Oh my God, that's my position.
Mm-hmm.
I love their channel because it exposes
guys.
All the cuts are.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing about it is, though, the truth is, it ain't that. Here's the thing, dudes that is gonna, once the shit gets really, really overt, it ain't that many dudes. A lot of these dudes, because these younger dudes, like, you gotta remember, most of them dudes talking that shit, they're like at my age. They're like 33, 34, 35.
That's not young, Edward. That's not young.
Well, you get what I'm saying, though. The dudes that are like 25, 24, like 20, 24, cut to the chase's age, they not on that bullshit. They either gonna play their video games and find their happiness somewhere else, or they gonna be fucking these bitches in the terms by which they set. Like, the younger you go, the easier it is. No, I get what you're saying, but the younger you go, the easier it is for them dudes. Them millennials ain't playing that shit.
We turn into the Game of Thrones dragons into Puff the Magic Dragon. That's what's happening.
No. Yeah, then, like, the millennials are the ones that's usually going up there doing that shit, and a lot of them folks be on their stuff be skew older. Even Roger's 41, like, they skew older. No, I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, that's gonna work itself out. Just like these chicks that were having all these babies back like a decade ago, and then now they still having babies at 30. That's why they say the teenagers.
That's why Kevin went from being under 300 on the live stream to like 1,500. I think he broke his record like 2,000 on his last live stream, because these chicks need to get married. Now they need to negotiate because of what's going on right now. So if guys would just hold the line and actually have some kind of intestinal fortitude and wait, they could actually win this thing. But the thing is, if you're going to actually sell out for a mere whiff of the cooch, then it is what it is.
BGS.
Oh yeah, and even Erica and because Erica will say this too. Like, I know what y'all say on online, but at the end of the day, these motherfuckers are getting married. They get lonely.
They're not getting married. They're not getting married. Yes, sir.
BGS. I want to say this. My older sister, who just teach me a lot about female nature. She basically told me, women envy, or I envy. She said, I envy single men. I envy single men. If I could die and come back, I would come back as a single man.
Why she say that?
Because she see the freedom. She sees the ability to just move and do what we want to. And I think she envies that, and probably be able to have sex as much, with many partners as you want to.
Women got that freedom. I mean, it could be some social stigma.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Yeah, they don't have that freedom.
Depending on how they move and how discreet they can be with it.
But basically, hold on. Bernard, a single man can pick up what he has and go to any part of the world that he wants to and feel fairly safe, right? A woman cannot do that.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
She can't move from city to city, state to state, country to country like a single man can. Women cannot do that because of just a safety factor.
I didn't average safety into the equation.
And that's why when you do have it, the hardest thing for a woman to compete with is your freedom.
Right.
And that's why I don't know why it's all these dudes talk about, I need to get married, man. I got baby fever.
They've been taught that. They've been socialized to think that way. They've been brainwashed. You can't have a society, a monogamous society, unless you brainwash the males. You have to.
All right. I want to circle back to another point, because the subject of talking to women, or some people say arguing with women.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Online came. I want to circle back to that, because BGS, you had one of the best channels for that, for talking to women, and I used to love how you walked them through it and just picked apart their bad talking points, their programming, their, as Game Changer would say, the sisterhood scrolls and all of that. You used to walk them right through it and pick that shit apart. Me personally, I like that. I like debate. I like the discussion, but I feel like a lot of people, and they sort of got alluded to here, that's guys really just coming through, it's getting depicted as if a guy is picking apart female arguments in real time in a conversation with him. He's really just crawling on his knees, pleading for a chance to be with those women. Why do we do that when people, have discussions with women online and picking apart their bad arguments?
I mean, some guys will, and some guys are trying to prove that they're the best man for the job.
Okay.
And I like he'll get a lot of dick length measuring and shaming of other guys and that kind of stuff because you're trying to prove that you're better than the next guy. That's actually pandering for pussy.
Okay,
yeah, I
so,
mean,
so when people make that statement, they're not talking about anybody who's having the conversation.
No.
Okay, good. I wanted to make sure.
There is like what Kevin is doing, like it or not, he's actually picking apart their arguments. Okay, Kevin is doing a lot of what I used to do on
and I love it
for women.
I love it.
And at the end of the day, they're just like, it kills me because I'll ask you, why does that shit bother you? Like, really? Because the channel never even grew to be that fucking big. Not like what Kevin was doing. And it's like, why does this shit bother you? Like, it really bothers you because dudes that'll bring that up. It bothers them, and it's like, yeah, man, because they just, what are you talking about? Because these will be the same niggas.
You know what? Okay.
These will be the same niggas you talk about going Mgtow monk mode, because they'll be like, well, y'all don't even know where y'all even engaging in these hoes, engaging these bitches. Okay, then don't fuck with them at all. Go Mgtow. Oh, that's gay. But that's gay though.
Edward, I understand. But the thing is, these are the fire breathing guys that said, fuck bitches. I'm not negotiating. I'm not talking to them. I'm doing this, that, and the other. When you get them in their presence, they have a different tune. You
absolutely right, and that's the one thing.
And that's what pisses people off about that. I said, Negro, you was just telling us that no surrender. Okay, I'm not. There's no surrender. I'm not negotiating with women. Either full surrender, full whatever is, and otherwise it's a no go. But you're over there actually pandering for it now with just a whiff. You actually didn't even get anything.
And it's that hip hop shit. It's that like, I need to be masculine, prove I'm fucking bitches. I'm like, and then next thing you know, you put two fat white bitches back to back, like Lil Wayne is. I mean, it's that shit, and it kills me because some dudes. It's the difference between dudes that are content creators who are doing that, and then a lot of these panelists. Because there are some panelists that be coming on there with some simp shit.
Man, that's a good point.
Dudes that don't want to fuck with his channel have the option to not watch. It's just that simple. As far as like what he's talking about, I mean, if they over there listening, then they're obviously there for a reason. Like, so it's really that simple.
I mean, if you're over there listening, you're engaging in a discussion, I can understand. But the thing is, when I go over to those particular channels, that's not what they're doing.
Okay,
right.
I feel like
that's just like yesterday when because I go over to Sister Georgia's channel to watch the fucking cuck show, but yesterday I couldn't take it because there was like a bunch of dudes on a panel fucking negotiating, and they were beating around the bush. Yeah. Like, and that's part of the problem. If you start speaking vague, you're trying to speak bitchinese and you're not good at it. You're not fluent at it. So they started trying to speak the same way women speak, beating around the bush, negotiating. So I'm fucking sitting there listening to all these men try to half-ass cuck out. So then I went up there to address it, and then it turned into some personal shit. But that's the thing. Like, they need to quit. Men need to quit beating around the bush. If you're negotiating, just fucking say what you want. Say I'm negotiating for the pussy, and then
if you want to go like Cypher, you want to go back into the matrix. Go back into the matrix.
Yes.
There's James. Thank you for the super chat. He says more women eat the less option they have for dating. Now, Crimson Cure made a good comment here, and she says Bernard Riley, there's a huge difference between what BGS Ibmor had on his women's channel and just trying to get female validation cloaked in arguing against women.
Yeah.
I think what happens is a lot of people will just lump it all together. Like I did a stream where I did it with that shit that Vivica Fox and them be doing on Fox Soul. It was a few times I played some clips of some women saying some bullshit, and I picked it apart, and I think I thoroughly picked apart exactly what was wrong with their arguments. But then I still got accused of you got a deference to these women, or you're seeking validation, or why you're doing this. I mean, it's like some people have no nuance to it, no chisel to it at all. It's just all hammer. If you're responding to anything that women are saying, then you're at bended knee seeking their validation. That's what I wanted to do.
Until they go over on the Georgia channel and then talk a different game. That's what we're talking about.
Okay.
The same guys who actually go to Sister Georgia's channel and start cucking out.
Okay, I haven't been watching their channel. I don't know how strong the cuckery is that much.
You're missing out, man. That shit is amazing.
I did duck in there, and I saw, I saw Zero on the panel, and I was like,
and I have no problem with Sister
Zero
George
down
or
in the
Concrete
trenches.
Rose. I had no problem with Concrete Rose or Sister George.
No. But it was just funny. I saw you in the trenches, Zero. You normally don't like to do that, but that shit was funny.
I usually stay the fuck out of that channel and just and sit in the chat. But goddamn, man, when you see a bunch of, because I care about male empowerment, like that really is my thing. And it's just like when I talk about like BGS being one of the only older people in the space that actually has paid attention to shit his whole life. Because I'm a people watcher. I fucking watch people. I literally go to parks and just watch people because I like to see people's behavior. I like seeing people fall down because they was looking at their goddamn phone too long, and then they looked up, try to orient themselves and fall. That shit's funny. So when I go online, I do the same shit. But the thing is, I also observe like behavior, and I hear people always talking about they want to improve the community, but then they have all of these selfish things that they want to do that doesn't have anything to do with community improvement. I hear a lot of do the work. I hear a lot of do this and build. I hear the word build, like all these fucking buzzwords. But when I hear them talk, the only thing they're talking about is negotiating for pussy. Like BGS said, the root of it is they just want the pussy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. Like they keep saying all of these other things that are important, but what's really important is that they get to that pussy and they online trying to find an instruction manual on how to get pussy. That's not, you're not gonna get an instruction manual.
Oh, and when you do give them an instruction manual, they don't want to accept it. It's too much work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they busy cucking out and fucking negotiating permanently and venting. That's my biggest problem with these niggas, fucking venting.
Oh yeah.
Look, bro, I almost tapped out of the internet when I heard a nigga on Sister George's panel say they reset the conversation back to fucking 2009. Nigga said, what I'm supposed to do when I come home from work and my man and my girl mad at me and like what I'm supposed to do. That shit, that was almost like a teenager dealing with his first girlfriend. Mm-hmm. That's some frustrating shit to me.
I mean, if they listen, if that's what they want to know, they should ask the question. And because I've addressed that many times about what to do and how to operate that way. Rom does it, I do it. There's a few people that actually do that. But the thing is, will they take the advice and listen? And 9 times out of 10, they want, can I fix her right now? No, it's a process. It's a process. You have to start with you first. Or what a lot of guys don't want to do is fix themselves.
No. You give them a solution of self-improvement that begins and ends with pussy. That'll work. If you got that solution, you go ahead and put that on the table. If you're talking about,
I gave them a straightforward, simplest way to actually go out and get pussy, and they don't want to do it. It's not. Yeah,
but the self-improvement part, does that include pussy?
Does it? If you want to get pussy, that's what you want to get. There's a simple way to do it. Some of it's a little bit mode 1. Basically, there's 3 things, right? Most chicks want to be entertained, which is what Bruce found out. What he calls his clown game. Okay, the 3 things you need to learn is actually tell a joke, be funny, be entertaining, be willing to be rejected multiple times, and still deliver your line and be persistent. Okay. Do those 3 things you actually? So what?
How do I improve myself though?
You want to get pussy, right?
And I want to improve myself. How do I do both at the same time?
If you, how do you? Which one do you want to do? You can do both. You can do both.
I want to do both at the same time.
And get pussy. You can do both. You can do all of it at the same time. Do you actually want to read books and lift weights? You can do that too.
Yeah, but I want to read books and lift weights and have pussy at the same time.
You can, if you do all those strings at the same time, within 6 months you get all the pussy you want.
No, but I want the pussy while I'm doing all of this.
In other words, it works too hard.
Then you got to use the clown thing.
In other words, then it's time to go in your pocket. and pay
Right,
for
but I
it.
ain't got no money because I ain't improved
Well, then,
myself.
this is the wrong place for you, son.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, then,
you know,
I'm not accepting that solution.
Well, then
I
we
need to
got to
go find a nigga that's gonna tell me everything I need to hear.
Go lie to you like Derek Jackson lies to women, right?
Yeah, I need to go listen to the nigga that's gonna tell me everything I need to
I
hear.
want to hear and have the same results and be back in my channel 6 months later.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know, man. I think I probably give men too much credit because I've been operating under the assumption that guys, most of them, are just giving their social commentary on the issues, and they're not really just showing up, starving for sex and just trying to figure out how to get it, and that's why they engage in these
that's a very long conversation, especially with millennials and the way they were raised. A lot of millennials have delayed adulthood. A lot of things they didn't learn is like when you're supposed to learn at 12, 13 how to engage with the opposite sex at 12 and 13 during puberty, right? They're waiting till they're 30, okay? At 30, you're supposed to know. And then when you're supposed to know, you get embarrassed because you don't want to go out there and take those hits. So how can I do it without risk? And there's no such thing. You can't do it without risk. You got to get out there and take your lumps and be rejected and be embarrassed and all that kind of stuff and take your hits. A lot of guys don't want to do that.
I didn't know that was that big of a problem. I mean, I know obviously it's varying levels. Some guys are better at getting out there than other guys, but I guess I never made the connection with that and this space and the guys who are speaking their mind, thoughts, ideas. I think, like I said, I think everybody is just giving their social commentary, and some people are more articulate and intelligent than others, and some people can express their ideas well. Those that can't express their ideas well just
I wish that was the case, but it's not.
That's
Kevin
what I thought it was.
Kevin said the exact same thing after he actually started dealing and coaching with these guys and actually get into their personal lives. That's what he started finding out, that there's a lot of delayed adulthood and a lot of things they weren't taught because they didn't have a man in the house and it didn't push them outside, so they didn't learn. So now they're 30, they're 25 to 30 years old with no experience. What do? You're supposed to know at 30 years old. What do? Okay. Do you actually go out and embarrass yourself and fall on your face for a good 5 years to learn, or do you actually double down and close up and stay in your little cubby hole? What do?
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I can believe that. I mean, I can buy what you're selling right there. I just think in these conversations, some guys get falsely accused of being this sex-starved maniac, engaging in these conversations because I just want to hear a woman's voice. I think that we selling men short, but there are some that do fit that bill.
I wish it was the case.
No, Bernard, that is exactly what it is. I just want to talk to women.
Hold on, Black Uru. To what percentage, Zero? What percentage do you think is honestly on that?
I'm just look. If I give you a percentage, I'm gonna pull it out of my ass, and it's gonna be really high.
Fair enough. How high? Now you got to pull it out. Now
it's gonna be real high. It's gonna be like 90%.
No,
these motherfuckers out here, they want to talk with and about girls. They just really want to be in the conversation in like this gossip girl kind of way. Like, you stay doing bullshit. I don't like what you be doing. They just want to like keep talking about the shit. They really do. They just like it, and that's cool. I mean, if that's what you want to do. But all I'm saying is, if you're going to do that and you want to negotiate, then get to the point of the negotiation. Stop beating around the bush, because you'll have more conversations in the future that'll be even better. Instead of resetting it.
Oh, how you tell the difference between the two different types of guys?
Oh, just listen to them.
Yeah, you can listen to them. Put a woman in front of them and see how they react.
That's watch how happy they get. You hear niggas start giggling and shit. Yeah. You could almost hear the fucking joy in their voice.
You can hear it. Yeah. Put a woman in front of them. That's the acid test. Put a woman in front of them. Make her cute and see how they react. That's the acid test.
No, I'm just asking because I was on that show yesterday, and I was talking. He thought I was negotiating every 3 seconds. He kept saying, "You negotiate." I'm like, dude, I ain't negotiating anything. So I'm just trying to see where that would come from. That's all.
Okay, what I meant was, like, for instance, when you kept saying like should, what women should do, that is negotiating. Like, if you say someone should do something, you're basically you're asking them for something. You're not implicitly putting a question mark on the end of the statement, but you are negotiating.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
what men should do.
I think Roger's more closer to the MRA side of the game.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Well, Zero, my slight problem with that is that, you know, I think women should not be so combative. Now, the woman that I'm with is a woman that's not combative. So if I enter this conversation and I say women should not be that combative, I don't think I'm negotiating with these women because I'm trying to, you know, butter them up so they could be more palatable, more right for me.
Bernard, negotiating isn't a bad word. I think, so men have this problem where we shouldn't have to mitigate our language. I have a video about this, mitigating the language and then mitigating your message. You can't mitigate the language that you use, especially when men are talking to men, because when you do that, you get away from what you're trying to get across. What you're saying isn't clear. So if I say that someone's negotiating, that's not a bad word. It just is what it is. So when you say should,
the question whether or not it was accurate,
right? But see, when you say women shouldn't be combative, that's still a negotiation, because you're saying what someone should be doing versus what they are doing. You're negotiating.
So Zero, what you should say is bitches better act right.
No, I'm not. Okay, I'm not on some command shit. This is why I said negotiation isn't a bad word, but just say that you are versus saying that you're not and then doing it anyway.
Okay, how should a guy go about giving social commentary on the way that modern Western women act that does not sound like he's negotiating or have a deference or just on bended knee, just please women act right so we can be together? Like, how do you have that conversation without it coming off like that? Because I do feel like some guys get falsely accused. There are some that fall in the category that you and BGS are talking about. But I feel
if you're in a position of no power,
too broad of a brush.
If you're in a position of like no power, then you are negotiating by default. Right. Again, this is not a bad word. Like the connotation, I understand it. It sounds again, because men want to feel more powerful than what they are. Like you want to project that authority, that power. But when you're negotiating, That's all there is to it. There's nothing wrong with it, but just say it, because what happens is if you say that you're not negotiating, but you are, then the argument comes off as disingenuous, and that's when all the bullshit starts. That's when people start rejecting things and stuff like that. If you say that you are negotiating, or you put it in the context of where you know that you're negotiating, then you can have an actual conversation and get somewhere. You can move it forward.
Okay, all right. I follow where you're going. I definitely you got next, Black Guru. I know I definitely follow where you're going with that, but I don't know. I don't see it as a problem if women.
Can I give you a concrete example?
Let him finish.
I don't see it as a problem if women are saying that, well, we don't have to be feminine and submissive because we got a job and we help pay bills too. And the guy says, okay, fair enough. But the fact that you have a job and you pay bills, as most women do in their marriages, that don't give you full creative control to be a bitch to that man who is also working hard for you and paying bills. So I don't think that you can call it that can get labeled as negotiation.
It is negotiation. That's actually surrendered by that guy.
Yeah.
Why are you there? Why? That's a surrender by that guy. Why are you there taking that abuse when you don't have to?
Exactly.
Oh no, absolutely no. The individual man in that individual situation, he need to get her the fuck up out of there. But I'm just saying, if we're having a discussion and we're giving social commentary on the state of the whole dating and mating game between black men and black women, or men and women in general, I don't think that guy should be looked at as he's weak because he's engaging in a conversation where everybody's just giving their own social commentary on what's going on. That's what I don't understand. It's like it gets flipped around, and that individual, y'all are making it seem like if he's saying that a high percentage of black women
I think
it's getting flipped around and saying, if he's saying, hey, a high percentage of black women are combative, and that has a argumentative, combative, and disrespectful, and that has an effect on relationships as a whole. Therefore, that guy is really saying is he has a argumentative, combative, disrespectful woman standing over him, yelling, throwing hot grits on him. That's not necessarily the case. He's just giving social commentary on a situation that we can see is more or less fucked up. Now, yes, the individual man needs to get the fuck up out of that situation. But if somebody is on a panel or has a YouTube channel having a discussion about the situations that people have, then it's nothing wrong with that. But if the guy is saying, I have this argumentative woman or this horrible woman that I can't get rid of and she won't treat me right, then we can say, okay, nigga, you a bitch. You need to deal with that.
So you're appealing to the woman's better angels, right?
Yeah.
By describing her behavior and how it affects men, right? Which is what the MRAs used to do.
Right.
Okay.
And we see how well that works.
It's a failed strategy.
Right.
It's what they're
because
saying.
women don't have those. Women don't have.
One at a time, you guys.
Women don't have those better.
One at a time.
But BGS, okay, so when you did the BGS for women, were you appealing to better angels, or were you just what were you doing? What was the mission? What was the mission of that?
My mission for women to actually be able to look at themselves truthfully.
Okay.
And how it affects their lives. It wasn't for men. It was actually for women. That's why I named it BGS for women. It wasn't about men. So men actually admit to what their life is like, how they think, why they think that way, why they do the things that they do, and actually look at themselves. That's what it was for. Had nothing to do with negotiating.
BGS,
and you did a really good job at that.
Huh?
But you did a great job at it. One of the best jobs I've seen at that. But
will I be allowed to
understand
how
he's the unreasonable man. He's the host. Okay.
No, I get that. I'm
Black Rule. You got next. Me and BGS didn't. We didn't.
I've had next 5 or 6.
But he asked
Black
me a question.
Damn. Hold on, Black Uru.
I'm not talking. I'm not talking.
That wasn't you talking?
No, I'm saying I'm not saying anything now.
Okay, because I said you got next. But that doesn't mean you literally get to be the next one. Me and BGS had a back and forth that didn't get finished. So if our back and forth didn't get finished, you got next after our back and forth. Put it like that. I think that probably explains it a little more clear. Now I forgot where I was at. I was talking about how good of a job BGS did at what he said his mission was, and that was just to show women, get women to look at themselves in a truthful light. Mm-hmm. I think you did a great job at that. I guess I struggle with finding the line, because part of the criticism of what I do here is that I think I essentially do the same thing. Now you can judge whether or not I do it as well as you, but essentially the same thing is happening here, where I do talk about women a lot. I do put a light on the shit that they do, and it could get called negotiation. It could get you can get called whatever you want, but women being criticized by men, that does not mean that man is somehow in a weak spot. I don't know.
It's not what you do, it's how you do it.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that word.
Yeah. But let Uhuru get in.
Yeah, you got it, Uhuru.
Oh, okay. Several things, but I guess the most recent thing, BGS is for women's channel. My view is that channel was much more valuable to men than it was to women, because it allowed men to see the chaos in as many different forms, and to get a clear sense of the enormity of the problems that they're dealing with in terms of dealing with Black women. So, because I didn't see Black women on that channel. I mean, obviously there were some stars that came out of that environment. Obviously, Kendra, Nicole, a few others, but by and large, I didn't really see any things being solved. What I saw was that men could see, oh shit, just how bad this really is, and how difficult this is going to be able to fix, if it can be fixed at all.
Okay, the thing is, to change somebody's worldview takes quite a while. It doesn't happen overnight. Okay, even with guys on my men's channel, it's about fixing guys. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes years, man. A lot of guys have been listening to like 3, 4, 5 years before the light bulb actually comes on. Then they email, "Oh, I've been listening to you for like 5 years. I finally get it." It takes a while. So me talking to women over like 2 years is not going to change women overnight. Okay,
but BGS, I've seen much more manifestation of what you've done with the men on your channel and how it has blossomed into much of what we currently see in the manosphere. I don't see as much or any of that at all. Or like I say, there are a few, but by and large, you haven't had that same effect or impact on the women.
What it was only two.
On the men.
It's only 2 years. Concrete Rose and Sister George wouldn't do what they do if it wasn't for my channel, right?
Yep.
Kendra wouldn't do the same thing. Kevin is using the exact same formula that I use in his channel. Now the women actually need this advice, need this information. It's already been there, actually developed. So all he has to do is actually pull out the scrolls and actually give it to them. So it has had an effect. It's having an effect right now because now they need it. The environment has also something to do with what happens. You know, me saying it is just part of the equation. The environment also has to help with the equation. A lot of guys wouldn't listen to me if they weren't struggling with the baby mamas and divorces and child support and all that kind of stuff. They wouldn't even come to me. Wouldn't even listen to me. But the fact that they do suffer with that, they come to me and listen to me. Same thing with the women now. Listen to Kevin. His channel didn't blow up just because of women also just like Kevin all of a sudden. No. COVID-19 happened. I need a husband. I need to figure out how can I actually get with these guys. There's skills that I don't have. I need Kevin to teach me. So the environment has a lot to do with it. But the thing is, some information needs the environment to actually cooperate with it.
And as far as the negotiating thing, I mean, of course, the men, black men are negotiating with women, and even that's a strong term. Look, what legal power, what law, regulation, judicial precedent that exists today that specifically and uniquely favors men of any type, particularly black men? Name one. Of course you're negotiating. Of course you're begging, because you can't make them do a damn thing.
You don't have to.
I wasn't going to go that far. I was going to use BGS's for Women channel as an example as well. Thing is, okay, so when BGS was running the channel, it was negotiating. However, here's the difference between that and the rest. So he was going, do you see how much power and you have and no responsibility? They go, yes. Do you see how detrimental that is for relationships and men wanting to be with you? Yes. What are you going to do about it? Crickets.
Now, and okay? On that point, my view would be.
But hold on a second. But after that, the rest of the people that tried this are more on the side of how can I get to the pussy? See the difference?
Right.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're always going to have men that are a little more led by their libido and by their desire for.
No, I'm talking about specifically how BGS did the women's negotiation versus other men doing the women's negotiation. Okay, so BGS was arguing the negotiation was, do you see how fucked up your behavior is? Do you see how much power and no responsibility you have? And then, do you want a man? Yes. And then it's at the end of it, it's, what are you going to do about it?
In other words, you have power. You have power in your life to do something that you beg for, and you're not doing anything with it. So the responsibility is on you to fix your own life, fix your own community. If you have the power, what are you going to do?
Right. And then if you look at the negotiations after that, it's always, how do I get to the pussy? Now, as far as Bernard's channel goes, he's not doing the same thing. He's having like broad conversations about societal effects of fuck shit. And a lot of the times, like Obsidian would come on and just argue for the red pill rage, and that's okay too. But I'm talking specifically about like dudes who are putting the negotiation out there in a similar fashion that BGS did a long time ago. But their approach is, how do I get to the pussy? There's a difference between what he did versus what everybody else is doing.
It sounds like you're talking about dating coaches or
quasi dating coaches or dudes who are basically saying that they're advocating for male power, but really they're just kind of they're putting the negotiation table out there and then asking how they can get to the pussy. What do they need to do?
Well, that's the dating. That's the dating. That's what the dating coach is there for. How to get the pussy.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about different motivations. I mean, obviously, BGS.
I'm talking about the dudes that are not claiming dating coach.
Oh,
yeah. Well, obviously, BGS has different motivations than those guys, so his interaction with those women is going to differ. You know, I mean, I think there's a little bit too much emphasis on the whole getting pussy thing. I mean, there are lots of different ways that you can get pussy. I think it's the validation thing that's the real problem. I think that's the thing that really cripples black men from cradle to grave almost.
Yeah, which is black men don't understand why they need validation from black women to feel like a man.
Exactly.
That's that whole beautiful man thing I was talking about a few days ago. When if you trained up under a woman, women seek validation from men. And if you trained up under a woman, sometimes you start acting like one. So you have men that want to be beautiful men. And my thing is, men are supposed to be referred to as handsome. You know what I'm saying? Like, if a woman calls me beautiful, I'm insulted. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't call me that. You better correct yourself. You know, you can't do that with me. You know. But I think at the end of the day, of course, you're gonna have men that want pussy. A lot of men just need to understand you're going to get pussy in the black community, no matter how you're acting. From a general level, men in the black community have always been objectified and actually basically uplifted by how many women they could actually get, how they were with pleasing women. That's a part of black culture.
Yeah,
no, I mean, I get that. Somebody asked me on
go ahead, real quick. Go ahead, Roger.
No, I was just gonna say something. One time I was talking, and I don't think the guys had any ill intention toward me when they did it, but they asked me how many women have I been with.
Yep.
And I was like, I don't even, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know. And a lot of them was laughing and chuckling because they sitting there thinking like, oh, maybe he never had none. And I'm seriously thinking, I'm like, bro, I'm in my 40s. I literally don't know. You know,
BGS, I got a question for you.
They felt like,
well,
I'm saying I think they felt like I was supposed to keep count the whole time because somehow keeping count with how many women you've been with or whatever got something to do with manhood. And my thing is I've never been praying.
In the black community, yes, it does.
It's really hard to keep count of that. It's really
that's how come so many men lie about it because that's what they're measured on. And Dr. Johnson, Dr. Curry said the exact same thing. A lot of men are measured on about how they interact and please women. They're actually in service to women.
All right, one thing I wanted to put out there. Ty City sent a super chat, and thank you for that, Ty City. And hey, and all that money that you and David Johnson sent when y'all was having that dick measuring contest.
Hey, they gave it out. Hey, they got their money worth.
One of them gonna need help with their cell phone bill later.
They have to stay off for OnlyFans for a month.
Real niggas keep count.
Yeah.
BGS, I got a question for you when I get a chance.
Go ahead, ask a question.
Hold on, but I do want to say this in response to Ty City's super chat when he said, name a woman that has a channel for men. It's true they don't have an exact channel for men, but they do spend a lot of time talking about men. So that's really the contrast or the difference.
I see the closest one will probably be Kendra's channel.
Yeah, that's literally it. I can't even put the breakdown in that perspective.
No.
I mean, that channel, that's really
those are blue pill women that are willing to talk to red pill men. So that's what that's about.
That's what's going on there. And also Ronald Cherry, thank you for the super chat. There's a lot of y'all been sending super chats. When the conversation get going, I fucked up and missed some super chats. So I apologize for that. I know ARC sent one that I missed. I apologize for that. Caesar D1, who always come through heavy-handed on the super chat, says salute to Bernard and the panel, support black male media. Shout out to Caesar D1 for that. He be dropping a lot of super chats on damn near every content creator. Everybody, everywhere I go, I see him dropping super chats.
I heard that. Salute. Support your content creators. Salute.
Absolutely. Caesar D1 is the man for that. He support everybody in this space. Ben, I think you had a question. Go ahead, put it out there.
BGS, if you were, say, 25, if you were a 25-year-old man in this environment that we're currently in, and you wanted to have a family, How would you go about that?
Okay, depends on what kind of woman would I want.
Hold on, Ben. Stop negotiating your surrender, man. Stop negotiating.
No. Listen.
Okay. If you want,
it's a good question.
You really have to vet the woman. I would make sure I do what that anime did, would basically make sure that whatever wealth I had was actually tied up so that the woman wouldn't probably get anything. But the thing is, you can actually have a family. You just have to figure out the risk and the amount of money you actually want to pay out for children. Okay, not married a girl. You actually have a family without getting married. You don't have to get married to have a family, especially in this environment.
I guess that's what I was kind of getting at.
Yeah, but the thing is, vet the woman. Sadly, I would stay from ADOS women. That's what I actually would avoid. I get either a woman from another culture that's more traditional. If I couldn't find one, they're kind of hard to find wives in the ADOS community. I'd probably have to be African or Afro-Latina. Actually bring her in and actually make a family. That'd be the best way if I was 25.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I would actually do because sadly, it's not that Black women aren't capable. They're just not training women to be wives anymore.
Right.
So if you want a wife and a family and a mother, you got to find one that's already trained that way. If you can find one, say one that's traditional from down south, check out her family, check out how she was raised, make sure that she can cook, clean, and take care of her house. If you can do this, she's probably raised right. Okay, but I would actually that's probably far and few in between. I probably have to go to outside the country to get one. So go down to Colombia or Brazil or even Central America, get your Afro-Latina and bring her back. Yeah.
There are ridiculously hot Black women 1,000 miles south of here.
Yep. Yeah, and basically they're actually trained to be wives from the time that they're small.
And they're fit, not thick.
However you get them, the thing is more about what's between their ears than anything else.
True that. I had a chance to go down to Panama, the country of Panama, last year this time, right around this time, and you're exactly right. It was totally different.
Mm-hmm. It's completely different. But basically, ADOS culture, because of the slavery experience, is actually built upside down. And I've had more than a few female content creators actually tell me that we're actually in reverse according to nature. They knew that back in the 60s. The feminists actually covered that up. But the thing is, we're upside down. Okay, basically, unless you want to continue the current environment, current African American culture, and deal with that, then that's fine because that's what you're used to. You get what you actually going to get what you get, right? But if you don't want that, actually have a marriage that actually works and with a low risk of divorce or a low risk of separation, you got to go outside the culture. Black women actually divorce their men at a percentage of like 80%.
And the reason I, asked that, I got a lot of young relative males, and it's like I'm lost of what to tell them. And one of my young relatives got married less than 2 years ago. I'll say about a little over 1 year ago. And do you know he got in trouble with his wife because he was on OnlyFans or whatever that is. So it's pretty bad out here. And I'm just wondering, what can we tell the young brothers who do want to have a family, how to navigate through this time?
And basically, in the African American community, the real family is actually mother and child. You are basically an insertion for a cause. You're a resource. Okay, you're in service. You're in service to her and her children.
Wow.
I refuse to use that term because I feel like at the end of the day, if a man is not involved, you're not a family, period. If you're just a chick with kids, I'm not even giving you that much respect to call you a family.
Roger, you can feel any way you want to, brother. Facts are facts. Okay, you can feel any way you want to.
I get what you're saying. BGS. But I'm never going to call it family.
I don't deal in that kind of world, man. It is what it is. I'm black pilled. I'm not red pilled. I'm black pilled. It is what it is. Read them and weep. Otherwise, you'd be married already.
Almost all of the young
Hold your thought, Black Uru. Hold your thought real quick. I got super chats coming in here. Consular Mary says Danica Marie is decent. Don't know if she's manosphere though. I don't know.
She's pandering for dollars, but it's okay. She's at least she's putting out the message that's decent.
Vision came through the super chat.
Definitely feminist.
Thank you very much for that super chat. He says, due to integration where I am in communist feminist Canada, Black women who are
prostitutes,
are claiming that they don't want to fuck Black men, Black women. Okay, all right, gotcha.
Yeah, because Black men are notoriously cheap and not as generous as other groups of men as far as paying money. So that's why.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was. We've all heard that some prostitutes.
Still in the word prostitutes. That's mine now.
Yeah, but it has to get past the censor by putting it. So that's the way put it.
Yeah. When people do that, I get thrown off when they try to.
Yeah, but YouTube will catch it if they don't.
No. Thank you for that. Thank you for that for spelling it incorrectly and throwing me off. I appreciate you. What you're doing there, Azrael 6394 says, according to dating coaches, you're not a real man if you can't train a daggle to be domesticated. You're not a real man if you don't correct her mother's incompetence. Yeah, we've heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Dig Thug says the male peacock is the end result of the female gaze. If Black men continue to predicate their existence around Black women's interests, we will lose certain traits that make men unique from all species. They will lead us back in.
We getting back into nurture versus nature. Okay, Nurture and nature work together. How are you raised? How are you socialized by your environment, by your family? Okay, fortunately, Black women, the Black American family socialize you to be in service to women. Here's what it is.
Yeah, Vision, thank you for another one. Thank you for coming through with those super chats. I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody who came through in the super chats. We actually, this is kind of hard to do, get off the air when the numbers high, but said we're doing 3 hours. BGS said he had to go at the 3 hour mark, and that's when I was actually planning on getting up out of here at that 3 hour mark. So we almost up out of here. We got 600. Holy shit. Oh wait, no, damn, I clicked on the wrong thing. All right, there we go. Yeah, we got 659 people watching, 481 likes. Let's go ahead and hit those likes. If you've been in here enjoying the conversation and forgot to hit the like button on your way in, go ahead and hit that now. We're about to wrap it up soon. We probably can do some closing words because we got like 13 minutes left. So we about to get up out of here. I think this is KC on your mind. We nearly got to 700. We closing in on it. But I'm them 8 hour streams, man. I stand up after the motherfuckers. My old body, bones cracking and shit.
Oh yeah.
I can't do it.
And you're done the next day, so you're all wiped out.
You'd be mentally exhausted after that shit. I can't do it. So we three and out today, but we could do some last words. We'll start with Roger Report and then go around. So go ahead, Roger Report. Any last words, the final closing thoughts on this? And SC Talk Media, thank you for the super chat. He says the truth is the truth, brothers. Negotiation is out. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Go ahead, Roger Report. You got it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say real quick, just because of that super chat, that Danica Marie, because I definitely checked that channel out before. She's smart about how she present things, but the one thing I catch from her is she's definitely about female leadership when it comes to the male and women, and that's just something I don't get down with. Period. You know what I'm saying? But she seems to be a stickler for that. And I've even tested her with throwing certain little things in super chats and seeing what she would read on there and what she wouldn't read on there. So I don't endorse her at all. Now, when it comes down to it, I know that there's some men have a problem with women. Some men don't have a problem with women. Some men, such as myself, I think talking to women is going to be helpful for women. And I know when people talk about the breakdown, you know what I'm saying? The breakdown is not going to be what all men want it to be, because number one, it's led by women in the first place. So they're going to look at everything from their particular angle. That's just something women going to do. And I don't think that's a terrible thing that they're looking at stuff from their own angle. One of the main purpose for me going over there is to help them. I already know women are going to come over to watch them because women like to support other women's stuff in our community. And Concrete Rose and Danielle is going to be the closest thing they're going to see to themselves right now. You got Kendra. Yeah, she Kendra does great work, but she is Muslim, and a lot of people going to disconnect just because of that. You know what I'm saying? They have reason that they disconnect. Concrete Rose and Danielle is the most they can see of themselves based on how they're going to do it mentally. So that's who they're gonna go to. And for us to go over there and talk and say certain things is going to be helpful for the women at the end of the day. You know, if they actually want to get themselves together. I've seen a lot of what Kevin has been doing lately. You know, much respect to him for what he's doing, but people got to come to certain conclusions about themselves, and that's really where the Black community is kind of off at. People think the SMV is way higher than what it is, and I did a chart like 2 days ago for people to kind of get into what they real SMV.
I disagree with your chart, but we'll get into that another time. I disagree with your chart, but it is what it is.
Let's go to Black Uru. But before we go there, Little Big Nate, if you're listening, yes, absolutely. That one-on-one that we talked about last week, I'm definitely still on board for that. I meant to email you that last night. So yeah, definitely me and Little Big Nate doing a one-on-one tomorrow. So yeah, I know Little Big Nate bring the heat every time. So that should be a good one. It should be a good one. So all right.
The last thing I want to say was that.
Thank you for that super chat.
Well, I just want to say that men need to do what they feel is best for themselves. Because at the end of the day, coming to listen to different men talk about different things is going to be helpful. Pull what you can from it and make the move that makes sense to your life. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I'll see y'all next time around. Peace out.
Absolutely. Thanks. Right. Appreciate that. Also, TK Green, thank you for the super chat. And Truck Turner. I mean, not the super chat, the Cash App. TK Green, thank you for the Cash App, and Truck Turner, thank you for the Cash App. Appreciate it.
Truck Turner, I ain't heard from seeing Truck Turner in a while. So tell him what's up.
Yeah, that's my first time seeing him. Yeah, shout out to all the new people in here, y'all. Shout out to all y'all. Who we got? No, Black Uru. I'm gonna skip Black Uru. Go ahead, Black Uru. Let's try to rapid fire it because I want to get out at the 3 hour mark. So go ahead, Black Uru. Last thoughts.
I think Black men and men in general, but Black men in particular, overvalue the attention, presence, and conversation with women. And I think that we need to begin to separate and segregate for women in some significant ways so that we can grow our own clearer sense of direction for our own manhood, for our own destiny that will likely include women, but it will be based on our mission and not some, as Zero alluded to earlier, some negotiation of some sort. This is my plan. This is what I'm going to do. Either you're going to help to make this work, or I will bring someone in who, other than yourself, who will do that. And so I wish that in this environment, we can begin, because we're too raised by our mothers, all of our teachers were female. We got to extricate from ourselves the bitch.
True.
Women.
I agree.
Yeah. So I'll leave it at that.
All right. Last call came through. Blaze of Stampede came through, said enjoying his break from the norm. Thank you very much for that super chat. Go ahead, Ben. You got it.
Fellas, I enjoy all the good male content creators. I really appreciate you all. You guys are saving lives, helping men out, also women out. Just want to say to all the men that are going your own way, SYSBM and so forth, stay off the plantation. It is not your friend. You're a free man. Blessings to all the fellas.
Run, Kunta, run. Kunta, run.
Run. All right, thanks, Ben. Go ahead, Zero. You got it.
All right. Shit. Let me think. I guess it's men's responsibility to build and maintain society, right? So when we have these conversations, I think that's pretty much the most important thing to keep in mind going into those conversations, because when you lose that, that's when you start actually losing yourself to what you're seeing around you, like, you know, with the mob mentality and dick swinging and all the rest of it we were just talking about. So basically just be consistent with what you think and believe, because a lot of times when you have these conversations and people get caught in logic traps where on the one hand you're saying community, build, and all the rest of it, and then on the other hand you're holding in the same conversation that your choice is personal and all the rest of it, it doesn't make any sense. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't make sense to you as a person either. So again, just think about what it is that you're after and be consistent with that. And then all of your decisions will actually be better from there on. That's pretty much all I have to say. And Bernard, negotiation is not a bad word.
No, I'm with you.
Not the way you say it.
Yeah, when you put surrender after
surrender and negotiation, my God. How dare you?
Falling on your knees to these conversations.
Yeah. Negotiation.
Come in the room on your knees.
I spit on that negotiation.
You can hit me with the white gloves. I demand satisfaction.
All I saw was when you the way you describe it, the breakdown of woman's perspective. It was 8 men on the panel on their knees, blindfolded with their hands behind their back.
My bad. I just try to use direct language, man. I'm trying to get like men to really like direct language is the best way for men to communicate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I'm with you. Mike Shinnery came through on the last call, and James Jackson, thank y'all very much. Appreciate that. All right, BGS, I predicted 600 views because I just had a feeling. I had a feeling you was gonna bring in some new people. I think it seemed like, I don't know if this is true, but it seemed like you got almost a separate audience over in your own corner, it seemed. I don't know. But I had a feeling that, you know, the normal audience numbers that I would have would be there. Then you was going to bring in like an extra 250 or so. So I was right in predicting that.
All right.
So yeah, that definitely worked out. Hopefully they subscribed. But yeah, this was great.
Well, Valdez endorses you. He actually vouches for you. So I said, okay. Valdez vouches for you, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I don't give Angry Man enough credit for that, because I shout out like Kevin Samuels mentioned my name and I got like 100 subs overnight. But whenever Angry Man would do it, I would get a bunch of subs when he would do it too. So yeah, people like, you know, Angry Man, Kevin Samuels, you know, it's so many. Well, you know, Obsidian helped grow this thing. It's so many big names that have helped, you know, make this thing become what it is. And I can add you to the list, because the time you just impromptu jumped up here, the numbers shot up, and I had my best day with the numbers when you came through here today. So yeah, so I gotta add you to the list of the big names that helped me grow. So yeah, so many. ARC, got to shout out ARC. Numbers always do good when he hop on. So many heavy hitters that have been on here. So appreciate all y'all. But go ahead, BGS. You got the last words on this topic.
I mean, you know, I hope I settled the Mgtow question about its impact and where it came from and what it really means. I think that it's for Black men. I think that this time what's going on really is that we have more choice. Our choice in women, our choice in locations, our choice in how we're going to live our lifestyle. We're not bound to the old, gynocracy anymore, right? Having Black women tell us what to do and how to live, or what it means to be a man, because Black women think that they actually can dictate what manhood is for Black men. I think Black women are actually rejecting that sentiment. So this is just part of it. So I think that we should exercise our choice, no matter what you decide to do. If you want to have a family, get married to an ADOS woman, go ahead. The thing is, do it because that's what you wish, not because that's what you must, in my opinion. If that makes sense.
No, absolutely. Kill Deuce, thank you for the super chat. Everybody coming in last call. ARC, I got to give you that money back. I super chatting all this money. I got to figure out how to get that back to you. I don't.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, ARC. When I first heard Mode 1, I know a friend of mine when I was in my 20s actually used Mode 1. He just didn't write it down. But the thing is, I know it works because I've used it. I seen him slay a whole bunch of women with Mode 1, so I know it works. So I would always endorse Mode 1. It does work. It works actually quite nice. But the thing is, you have to actually work the program and actually do it the way he says to do it. Because if you don't, it's not going to work for you. It has
All
to be
right, David. All right, David Johnson. Look, I ain't gonna give you none of this money back, man. You when you need help with your water bill later this month, all this money you super chatting, don't. All right, email me. I'll help you out. I'll give it back, man. I'll give it back if you need gas money at the end of the month, man. You going broke up here, so all that money you're super chatting, man. Yeah. But, all right. That's gonna wrap it up, man. I'd like to thank everybody, man. Salute to everybody that came in here, man. This was a great show. What more can I say? Thanks, everybody. We out of here. Peace.
All right.